Judge, I was seeing the news the other day, and I was gonna ask Mr. Pereira if that goes through on the inspection, are we gonna lose any money? I think the governor's gonna sign it to where they don't have to inspect the cars anymore.
Well,
Goes in the news.
yeah, but that's what they would charge at the inspection site. So we were still having to pay them a discount. So they were charging it.
No, what I'm saying is it gonna affect the license plates? Since there's no inspection, it's required by the state to get the license plate.
But if it's not required anymore, then you just,
That's what I'm saying.
no, we wouldn't lose any money.
I believe what he's talking about is the emission. They're doing away with the actual inspection,
Right.
but they're gonna start doing an emission test on the vehicles.
Because we don't, the people pay for that inspection. If you notice when you pay your,
No, I understand, but what I'm saying is it affect the license,
you know, because you just pay the same license fee.
we don't wanna find out.
Any other public comment? 1.6, approval of minutes of regular meeting June 5th, 2023, and special meeting June 6th, 2023.
Subject to no corrections, so moved.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Odena. Any discussion?
For the public, we do get the minutes before the meeting starts, so we go through them and then, just to let y'all know, we just don't approve them because they're there.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries. I'm going to go back to 2.1. 2.2, recognizing Colton Brady as the recipient of the State of Texas 4-H Opportunity Scholarship, $20,000 awarded by the San Antonio Livestock Exposition recipient. Is Colton Brady here?
Not here yet.
2.3, recognizing the Texas High School Rodeo Association state finalists Ray Guevara, Samuel Mendoza, Garrett Talamantes, Francisco Guevara, and John Harper Webb.
One more question?
Yes, please. Also wanting to recognize the Texas High School Rodeo Association state champion, Trevor Craner. We'll go down there right now to take a picture, but on behalf of myself and my staff, I do want to congratulate you guys because being a state champion or a state qualifying student is not no easy task. And I know that you guys work very hard to get where you are at. I know that your family's proud of you. I know that we're proud of you. I'm proud of you because it's a very big honor to be able to be recognized as a state champion, state qualifying finalist. So from the bottom of my heart, I congratulate you guys. I wish you the best in all your future endeavors. I know that Trevor's going to be headed to Wyoming. So on behalf of the Commissioner's Court, I want to wish you the best of luck and Godspeed, and I hope that you go out there and you become a national champion and represent Dimmit County well. So congratulations.
Congratulate you all, and we're finally getting to to be recognized in state track, and then, what is the other one? What's the other one?
The UYL,
The
UYL
and all the
rodeo.
Thank you guys, I mean, great job.
Awesome job, guys. Congratulations, your family and everybody here in Dimmit County is proud of you guys, so keep it up.
Thank you, gentlemen. Also on behalf of Precinct 2, thank you, the parents, for putting that extra time on keeping up with y'all. And I know sometimes it can be difficult, but it's a great achievement, and congratulations. And good luck in your future endeavors.
I'd like to congratulate you gentlemen, you young men, for a job well done, qualifying for state. It's a very strong accomplishment. Wish you all the best in your future endeavors, your competitions. And I want to also congratulate your parents for a great job putting in the miles, the long hours, the long hauls. It takes a lot. It takes a lot as a team member. Trevor, congratulations, and just want you to know that we wish you the best, and we'll be rooting for you. Yes, sir.
Well, for that.
You need that driver to drive you to Wyoming over there.
So if I could just have, we'll go down there to take a picture, but again, on behalf of the Commissioners Court and myself, congratulations, and if you all could join me to give them a round of applause, if y'all turn that way.
Y'all do me. There's one more short kids. My time goes
We're all shorter than you, I think. Well, at least I am, so we'll find a space.
That's fine. You're good.
Congratulations, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you, sir.
Can I add something too? Gary Telemontes, I don't know, but if people know, but he is actually our state president, our Texas High School Rodeo, and he's actually going to Nebraska also. He's going to run for national president.
Well, yeah. And if you guys happen to talk to Colton or John Harper Webb, let them know that at the county judge's office will have their certificates if they want to swing by. Um, 2.1, the presentation by the Texas Department of State Health Services.
Hello.
Good morning.
Can you-
Yes. You can maybe pull it a little bit towards you.
Hello. Hello, my name is Martha Salazar, RN. I'm a public health nurse for the Texas Department for the Texas Department of State Health Services. We service Dimmit, Friola, Sal, and Zavala counties. Our office is in Pearsall, Texas. Okay. Okay, so I came with Stephanie De La Flores. Regional Director is Lydian Ringsdorf. Immunization Specialist is Rhonda Hahn and Amanda McKeslet. Sanitarian Inspector is Karina Bañuelos. Deputy Director for DSHS, Gil Morrow. Zoonosis is John Stewart. Okay, thank you for allowing me to present to you the 2023 county report. On the table you will see a copy of the 2022 annual report, county report, and the DSHS brochure that entails our services and programs. My business card is attached to the brochure. It has the contact information if you should have any further questions. Our public health services include provide the community with health education, administer tuberculosis treatment and obtain contact identification, provide HIV and STD testing, treatment, referrals, and education. We assist with communicable diseases investigations, emergency preparedness, and response. We administer immunizations for eligible children and adults. General sanitation and food establishment inspections done by DSHS sanitarian inspectors. So our health specialist and social service program served one resident in Dimmit County. The retail food and public health sanitarian program, the local inspector conducted 8 inspections. Youth camp and school cafeteria inspections, there were 0. Next is the notifiable condition summary. We had 14 disease investigations in Dimmit. Epidemiology, 3 food waterborne illnesses, 2 vaccine preventable diseases, 4 COVID-19 related deaths, and this decreased from last year, which was 58. Just wanted to make a note. Tuberculosis, 0 tuberculosis contact identified, 0 new cases identified. In the HIV/STD program, 5 residents receiving follow-up, 51 new sexually transmitted diseases. This data is from 2020, as this is the most current finalized data. Zoonosis, 0 rabies with positive animals. 2 quarantine shelters inspected. So county health initiatives we have done in 2022. We have served on Advanced Health Start Kids Are First, the Health Advisory Board. We participated in their health events and educated on hand hygiene. Organized and led the South Central Texas Child Fertility Review Team. Collaborate with WIC to provide classes on topics like safe sleep, breastfeeding, smoking during pregnancy. Provide immunizations to infants, children, and adults. Assist schools, healthcare providers, and hospitals with immunizations, notifiable conditions, and disease reporting. Distribute, install, and inspect child car seats and provide education to parents and guardians about the correct use. We plan to organize the South Central Texas Breastfeeding Coalition. Christina Camacho, the OB director from Dimmit Regional Hospital, is part of our coalition. We serve on School Health Advisory Council for the Dimmit ISD. We have immunized 101 vaccines. We had administered 101 vaccines. So our regional headquarters is in 7430 Lewis Pasture Drive, San Antonio, Texas. Our phone number is 210-949-2000. Public health emergencies and disease reporting is 24/7 hotline. Our phone number is 210-949-2121. So what we're working on right now, currently we are conducting the breastfeeding coalition that I mentioned, and we are truly collaborating with WIC offices, the hospital OB nurses, lactation specialists, and other stakeholders in joining and improving the breastfeeding among our counties. I will be collaborating with Rick Mesa from DSHS. He is the Regional Tobacco Coordinator in AgriLife to assist with educating the students about smoking and vaping cessation in our community and schools. We are also part of the human trafficking, and we are going to work closely with the community to educate them about human trafficking. And then about support from you all, I would like to ask for your support and participation in activities that the community can benefit from, such as It's Time Texas Community Challenge. This challenge is an activity that encourages individuals to make healthy choices. Do you have any questions?
Ma'am, sorry.
Go ahead.
How do you keep up with the COVID now that it's non-reportable?
Hi, yes, so it's not reportable.
I'm sorry?
I'll come up to that, I'm sorry. Thank you. So we're kind of looking at trends now because a lot of people are testing at home, and when you test at home, people don't call it a report. We do have providers that will report to us, so we look at different sources of information to look for trends. So we also follow what's called syndromic surveillance, and that we track what people are going to the ER and complaining of. So we look for influenza like illnesses and watch those trends.
I'm a tester myself. I got my testing certificate before calling, but I've had people with positive results, but the website has been closed. How do we report those?
You can report them to our to the region, to that 949-2121 number. We have a team, our epidemiology team, that does the disease tracking for the region. And what we're really focusing on, because we can't count each case, we're really putting our energy into preventing outbreaks in congregate settings and helping vulnerable populations keep up with their immunizations. And so that's kind of, we pivoted from tracking every case and counting those numbers and reporting those on a dashboard to now accepting that it's going to be an endemic disease. What can we do to decrease the effect it has on the community?
Can we do it by email? Say every week report what we test and what the results are?
So we have a fax line, so I can get you connected with our lead epidemiologist. But yeah, you can.
I'd like to report them because we are having positive results.
You can email me. I'll get my card for you, and again, we've got the phone number, and then I can give you our fax number too. So if you want to report that, our epidemiologist will take a look at it.
Any other questions?
I've got one question, Judge. On the vaping, what kind of education are you providing for the high schools?
We just found a good program. It's called Watch Your Back from AgriLife. And we also work with Rick Mesa, who is going to be presenting all the information. So it's Rick Mesa, our tobacco coordinator from DSHS, and our AgriLife, who has UBAC. And we just got a hold of them on May. And so we're working for the fall.
If you don't mind giving my card, my name is South County Attorney. I know it's a problem in our schools, in junior high and high school. We had one kid that got thrown out of the honor society because he was taught to vape. I hate to see that happen to good kids.
Okay, so Watch Your Back is, it's a program that teaches about underage drinking, vaping, and smoking cessation.
I think we need that in our schools.
And fentanyl, that's coming in the fall.
Right.
I got one moment. On the human trafficking, I know in October, SM Energy, Snow Company, is doing one for human trafficking here in Dimmit County. And it's going to be probably like the third week of October. Would that be something that you might be interested in with getting together with them?
Oh,
or?
yes. We also have somebody from Homeland Security that we're trying to get for us to present in the fall also. So I can also send you that number.
It's under SM Energy.
SM Energy. And join them, yes.
Yeah.
And I'll also ask him.
Oh, thank you.
One more question since Commissioner brought it up. On the human trafficking, we're in the process of applying for a grant from Operation Lone Star. Is there any funding we should be requesting that could assist the county with health issues involving immigration that you're aware of?
I'm not aware of any.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, Ms. Salazar. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Three point one, approval of bonds. I think, do we have the bonds for?
Yes, Judge.
We have two bonds that need to bear my signature. One is for Elsa Jimenez, and the other is for Chris Anthony Castañeda.
So move.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Noguera. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.2, discussion and appropriate action, approval for use of Dimmit County Arena for Winter Garden Volleyball Academy Awards presentation on July 2nd, 2023. Morning, Ms. Ortiz.
Good morning. Good morning. Well, we come to you because as it is, it's a nonprofit organization, and so we try to keep as low as we can. We have 80 girls local, and some of them are going to be recognized. We have 5 teams out of Uvalde and 1 out of Del Rio, and we would like to recognize those girls, all of them, that have really hustled very, very much to get where they're at.
Any questions?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, second by Commissioner Noguera. Discussion?
Please. I'll give them the fee and I'll pay the $50 fee because we have to charge $50.
Yes, I understand that. Well, thank you very much. It's very much appreciated. Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Discussion and appropriate action, request approval to subdivide 15 acres of land near the Dimmit County Arena by Rogelio Martinez.
Yes, I have 15 acres near the arena. I would like to subdivide it and start soil in the near future. I need the approval of the county.
It's my understanding from what I guess he was advised and he advised our office was that he has 15 acres near the arena area on the other side. However, he wants to sell that property, and the realtor that, or the inspection people that want to separate it, said he had to get approval by Commissioner's Court to approve, to allow him to be able to subdivide those 15 acres. So that's why he's here today.
Yep.
Yeah, but I'm going to entertain a motion. I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Odena. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Discussion.
Judge, I would like to table it because you need to have all the paperwork beforehand. As you have to have the flag and the water, how you're gonna supply the water and all that.
Okay, well, my intention was, whoever buys the property is up to them.
I understand, but you gotta show us how you're gonna subdivide it.
Oh, okay,
You have to have a flag.
okay,
That way you're responsible for it, not the county.
yeah. I understand what you're saying.
I was looking for it, but I didn't see anything.
No, I did.
Because it's easy for us to give you permission, but then when the people come, we all approve them, how am I gonna get this road, how am I gonna get the water, how am I gonna get everything else? So that way you have everything ready to go, and then we can approve it.
That's fine.
Any other discussion?
No, Your Honor,
I'm going to,
just briefly.
are you going to approach?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, the Commissioner's right, you have to but if you're gonna subdivide it, then it needs to comply with the model subdivision.
Okay.
Right? You don't want to talk to a surveyor,
Yeah.
have a replat, then they'll give you a plan and you send it back.
All right.
I'm going to entertain a motion to amend the initial motion to table the item.
Motion to amend.
Motion to amend by Commissioner Odena,
Second.
second by Commissioner Carmona. Once you have that plat, Mr. Martinez, showing how you're going to subdivide the property, 15 acres
Yeah.
with the road and whatnot, and I think the best way would be to get a surveyor out there to see how you're going to do that. If you want to bring it back to our
See,
office.
but that was the problem. They won't come do it unless I get the okay from the owner.
Tell the company just to tell you if it's gonna be by acre, by lots, or whatever you wanna sell them by. Because a lot of people will sell 1 acre, a lot of them will sell 5 acres.
But I explained it to him, bro. Come on, call him again.
He can contact my office if he needs further information of what the decision of the Commissioners Court was. You can have the lady in the back, Mirta, she can give you our business card. You can call our office and you can give him our information and we can explain to him what we're asking for in order for us to make an educated decision as to approving for that to be subdivided. Okay, thank you, Mr. Martinez. All in favor? Any opposition? Motion carries. 3.5, discussion and appropriate action request of maintenance on road San Francisco and Guadalupe Streets in Catarina, Texas. There's nobody here for that.
Motion to table.
Motion to table by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Juan Carmona.
Judge,
Yes, ma'am. Discussion?
next time, is it okay for a courtesy, just be a courtesy call and see what it's about, and then we can see if we can take care of it or not? Because I know San Francisco Guadalupe has an issue. There's a fire hydrant on the corner, so every time it gets flushed, the material gets washed.
And we did discuss that with him.
We have to go back and
And we did discuss that with him and we gave him your information. This is the third time he's come to our office and finally we put it on here because we wanted him, because he thinks we're not advising.
yes,
So,
it's the same issue. I know, Ms. Yolenda's worker here has been out there checking out.
I think it's the same issue. I think it's been going on for years. Yes, ma'am. So we put it on the thing so he can know and the public can know that we're not trying to resolve the issue.
Is this the road that's underwater?
Quite frankly, it is
The road
by
behind
the store, correct?
That has a fire hydrant.
That's underwater?
No, it's a different one. You're talking about a different one. This one's behind the store. No, this is a different one. It's a different one. All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries. 3.5, discussion and appropriate action authorizing resolution approval of proposed Texas statewide opiate settlement agreement. There's no representative here. I entertain a motion to table.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Noguera. Discussion.
Judge, I think it's up to you to decide who or what gets the benefit of that. Because it's already been settled.
It has been settled. It just needs to be signed.
Right, Mr. Gonzalez, it's up to her to distribute it or
Well, they should have sent guidelines on how to distribute the money, and Ms. Perez not here, I think he handled the last distribution.
Yeah, Mr. Ferreira has it.
So, yeah, and I just received one email and no information, other information on it. I know that, I received the information about a week or two ago.
that's what it's all the information how they're going to distribute it.
Right. How it can be used by the county high sheriff for a portion of the money.
So what is Mr. Pereira?
Off into the sunset somewhere. So do you want to amend the motion to allow the county judge to sign the
With
documents?
audit
With
yourself and decide what you're gonna do and bring it back to commissioner's court and then we'll just go that route.
So I'll entertain a motion to give the Dimmit County Judge approval to sign the documentation for the settlement agreement and work in conjunction with Mr. Pereira. Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Odena. All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries. Discussion and appropriate action, approval for 2 reserve deputies for Constable Precinct 3. Good morning, Constable.
Morning, Judge. Morning, Commissioner. How you doing? Here requesting 2 reserve deputies to assist me and Rudy out there in the Fayville area. Lately, this past couple of months, we've been having high numbers of illegal immigrants going through town, hiding in backyards, finding them under the homes. It's getting bad. Also, we're assisting Dimmit County as best as we can, the Sheriff's Office. There's times that they're responding to a call and we're the first to get there, but it's becoming overwhelming. We just need a little bit more assistance. At the same time, with these reserve deputies, we could utilize them for festival events and different sort of security-wise as well. And I understand the last time I came up here presenting, there was concerns of them doing inside jobs. That is not allowed, period. I've already spoken to the state. It is not allowed. It will not happen. Just asking for a little help out there where we're at. to assist.
Did they pass that at legislation that with the TCO that they're no longer allowed to have side gigs?
Side gigs.
I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Odena, discussion.
Mr. Robert, I know that you had requested the last time and I was against it, but the reason I'm against it is because there was an agreement about by the Commissioner's Court not to let the Sheriff Department hire any more reserve deputies, not to have too many of them. Now, so we're allowing them now to go ahead and get them.
We haven't allowed anybody, Commissioner, to do
The
anything.
last time we allowed Arambula. I wouldn't know, but it was approved that Arambula get one.
These individuals are unpaid. They're not getting paid.
I understand, but that was the problem we had with the Sheriff Department. They had a whole bunch of them, and then one of them got into trouble, so Jimmy County got an answer for it. You're holding his license.
Yes, sir, I understand, and I take full
That's the only
responsibility.
concern I have, because
Yes.
we had agreed, the other judge was here not to let the Sheriff Department or anybody hire any more.
Yes, sir, and there is a new guideline that TCO has in place to where it's more intense background investigation checks before they even get put on the department. I mean, they have to fill out a 30-page packet, in detail to past history.
And
And
then
we
you
have-
know,
Yes, sir.
that was, my only deal is that we had approved it before, but now I guess we're changing our minds. I don't have
I
a
mean, you-
problem either way, but.
You can still vote against it if you want. I mean,
Yeah.
it's the majority.
Nothing personal, but.
Yes, sir, I understand, sir.
I have always stuck with the policies we make or whatever we do, so that's the only reason I'm concerned about it.
Yes, sir, I understand.
Any other discussion?
The only thing I can say, Judge, is that it'd be more safer for them due to the fact that it is increased. And sometimes I know deputies are around, but at what cost are you gonna put a constable or deputies back if they don't have the assist?
And I do, and there is times I receive phone calls from residents, they don't call 911, they call me directly at home. Hey, I got somebody in my backyard, I hear noises. I let dispatch know that I am going out to the location. Sheriff's office is also coming, but they're coming from Carrizo. That's usually 15 minutes away, 20 minutes away. Or vice versa, I take the initiative to jump a call right away to be the first one to respond until Dimmit SO arrives or the paramedics or even the fire department. And I've done that numerous of times as well. And just a little bit of help because there's times that on the weekend when I'm with my family, I literally just drop off my family and take off.
I understand, it's just, the way I always hold it.
And Rudy's a great help. It's just that he's utilized to only 40 hours a week, total of 80 hours every 2 weeks. So he only works so much. He doesn't have overtime like we have in the other departments.
Judge,
Yes.
I think we need to bring it back also to revise that if it's a policy or if it was just an agreement we all made. Because if we already allowed one constable to have a reserve, I mean, it's only.
Well, it's because we voted. I mean, that's what I'm saying. If he still doesn't want, if you're against it, you can just vote against
Well,
it.
that's fine.
And we can all vote correct,
And
yes.
bring it back, not bring this item back, but bring the policy back to where we can revisit it and make sure. We already allowed one constable, what's good for one, my thing is it's good for all.
And I don't think it's in policy. It might have been something that y'all,
It was probably just
an agenda item, correct? Because I have looked at the policy and I haven't seen anything in regards to reserves specifically. I know that there was an issue with the previous judge and commissioner's court in regards to having those reserve deputies at the sheriff's office because of the extra jobs they were having and getting into trouble. However, obviously we have a new judge, we have a new sheriff. I think things are being run differently. And I think that if there is any opposition from anybody in the court, that we don't want to continue to do that, we just vote no and majority, you know. But we can look into it and bring it back if you want it actually on policy.
My only thing is, I don't have a problem with reserves, but as long as we see them out there and they're working. I know the jail is short-staffed, the sheriff's office is short-staffed, so I've told them before, call the reserves, we have a reserve, call them and ask the backup, transfer, whatever we need them for. I know it's only 16 hours that they work.
Yes, ma'am, I understand. And we've utilized that. I don't know, the other day we had the baseball championships here.
Yes,
We've had issues where families were fighting, so I had actually Rudy show up and Aramada actually had his reserve there too, just standing by.
And they were there, and people noticed it, and I think they appreciated
They kept
it.
everything calm.
Mhm. And also just, Commissioner, just FYI, we are, as Mr. Gonzalez said, we are in the process of applying for the OLS grant. And part of that OLS grant, there's a request for not reserves, but two actual deputies for the constables to assist them because the numbers are there, and the numbers are reflective of the fact that there's an increase in illegal alien, the smuggling and the trafficking in those precincts. And that would be, of course, no cost to the county because it would come from a grant. So perhaps those two reserves could, in fact, become full-time on that grant.
There's two things now. You may want to amend your motion that it's subject to the reserves being bonded by the county. And then the second thing is that Senate Bill 22 is out there. I don't know when funding's going to be ready. There may be additional money coming for the sheriff from the comptroller's office once they decide how to disperse that money. This past legislation, they passed a bill authorizing more money to rural county deputies and constables.
They did.
So there should be some more help coming.
Just one more question, Joe.
Yes,
Are they gonna use their personal vehicle, or are you gonna provide vehicles?
they'll get in my unit, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And the same thing with Rudy, when he's off
Like I say, I
the.
don't have a problem, but I'm used to voting.
Yes, sir, I'm sure.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection?
Aye.
One objection, Commissioner Juan Carmona. Motion carries. Thank you, Constable.
Thank you.
3.7, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from County Extension Agent, Ms. Alyssa Cruz, for the month of 2023, May 2023, excuse me.
Good morning, Judge.
Morning, Ms. Cruz.
So for the month of May, I hosted a Range and Wildlife Committee meeting to discuss future educational program opportunities, and I got a lot of great feedback on that. I will be hosting a CWD, a chronic wasting disease workshop in August. I can hand that flyer to you guys when I have it available. I attended the high school scholarship night to present Dimmit County 4-H members that received that scholarship. This year we decided on 4 individuals, so they were presented there. I did attend a South Region Pesticide Workshop. It was a day workshop in Atascosa County where I learned more about the CEU opportunities for pesticide applicators. I also attended a South Region Program Planning Conference in San Antonio, Texas, where I got to talk with different specialists and already have conversations about the future educational programs that I'll be offering here for our producers.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Odena, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Noguera, discussion?
I will be there. Nobody says the truth, I was like, where are we getting to?
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms.
Thank
Hernandez.
you.
3.8, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from FCA agent, Ms. Carissa Munoz for the month of 2023. Morning, Ms. Munoz.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners. On my report, you'll see that we still have some ongoing programs in the community. The Color Me Healthy program wrapped up at one of our local daycares. Walk Across Texas program wraps up next week. And then we have the Walk and Talk program happening at La Paloma that will end in July, in the beginning of July. Also had several meetings with associations. We're planning a child care conference in the fall, and it's going to be a multi-county collaboration with Webb County and Uvalde County. That is already reserved to happen at the arena, so we're hoping that that event will be a big event to happen every year. So that's in the works. We also have a car seat inspection event happening at the end of this month on the 30th. I believe I gave you flyers the previous, I think in May. And then that is in partner with Passenger Safety Initiative and TxDOT. So we'll be out there. We already have 8 volunteers ready to help with that event. So we're hoping to make it a big thing so they can come back every year as well. And that's about it. Just have a few things coming up, and now working on a program with the library. It's like a Path to the Plate series where kids learn where things grow, like from seed, and they get to see the seed, they get to see the plant, they get to taste the fruit, and they get to like see it, everything Path to the Plate. But that's basically it.
And that's what the daycare you said, the Path to the
The
Plate?
Path to the Plate is at the library,
Oh, at the library.
and it'll end next week.
You can ask questions and then if there's any discussion.
Do you have anything planned for Big Balls?
Not yet, but people have reached out to myself and the coalition for events to happen in Big Wells, Asherton, and Catarina. So, gonna plan that in the next within the next year.
If you plan anything there for Big Balls, I got a brand new popcorn machine sitting there. We can use it for the children to go and so they can learn. Also, if you need it here for the one you have in right now, I'll be glad to take it over there and got a cotton candy machine. And I've got those for the kids so they can show interest in what they learn.
Mm-hmm. The popcorn machine would really be helpful for us to. We're gonna have the back to school health fair in August 3rd. So we hope we'll be sending more information on that. It's in collaboration with the Dimmit Wellness Coalition. And they've done it every year, but previously I think it was a Mineral grant. But now it's going to be a few partners collaborating together for that. So maybe we can use that there as well for that event.
I think Commissioner takes the one there too. Yeah, so that event, I don't want to step on her toes.
Oh, okay. Well, the more the merrier. Whatever we can get help with, that's beneficial.
Okay. Just need to people. Also, there's a fiesta committee there. You will contact them and let them know what's coming up and all of that. I'm pretty sure they'll be interested for the children.
Okay.
Even if we have to plan some more vegetables or whatever over there next year, let me know and we'll get a place.
Oh. Currently, speaking of the garden, We did harvest about 8 pounds of produce that was distributed to 11 families already, and that's just with the harvest we just got. And there are more plants producing, so we're hoping to have another batch go out within the next couple weeks. And then once, I believe, we'll pull everything maybe August and then plant again in September to get maybe a little bit of fall crops, but maybe ready for spring. So that's going really great as well.
I entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Odena, second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Any other discussion?
I'm sorry about the pumpkins. I was gonna do it, but then, there's no good for planning. I found out with this week, so it's been a hard time to get.
And it's very hot, it's getting very hot, and but maybe for next year we can
Next
plan
year,
that for
We'll
sure.
find a better place to plant.
You were gonna plant pumpkin?
Yeah, it's hot to plant right now. That's what I'm saying, maybe in September we can work on things for the fall and spring, and maybe we'll get the pumpkins in early spring or around there, because it is getting hot. That would be great.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries. 3.9, discussion and approval for FCH agent, Ms. Carissa Munoz, to attend the TEA FCS State Conference in Fredericksburg, Texas. I will entertain a motion. Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Odena. Any discussion?
I have a question. It says for 4 days of the training, but the annual conference is 3 days.
Oh, okay, okay. We have pre-conference sessions happening that day, so I had asked if I should drive up at 8 o'clock in the, like, I would have to leave like maybe at 5 in the morning, and I would miss out on those pre-conference sessions since I'm a first-time attendee. They have like a first-time, a whole thing on,
Early bird session?
yeah, early bird sessions on the day before it actually starts, but that agenda hasn't been sent out yet.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition?
Judge, when she gets the agenda, can we get a copy and attach it?
Yes.
Usually we do it for 3 days, and we go by what the agenda says.
Okay.
The agenda says 3 days. So when she gets the new one, the updated one, so we can add it.
Okay.
Everybody in favor or
Thank you.
motion carries? Monthly report from Rodeo Arena Event Coordinator, Ms. Guadalupe Fuente, for the month of May 2023.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning, Commissioners.
Morning, Ms. Fuente.
Do you guys have any questions on my reports?
What did you do? What was your report about?
My,
Can we have information on your report?
Oh, she submitted, she's talking about this report.
But if we have questions, what are you gonna talk about?
I don't have any concerns. Do you have any questions?
Now entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Odena. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Noguera. Any discussion?
Yes,
Yes.
we've encountered some more break-ins and vandalism at Johnny Gloria, Placita. We prepared the location on Friday evening for an event that was going to be held on Saturday. That night, it was broken into and damaged and stole materials that are left behind for the event, like toilet paper. and-
For the Johnny Gloria?
Yes.
Yes.
I spoke to the IT, our IT department in regards to some cameras that we had brought up in conversation in the past, and they haven't been ordered. So I looked into some other cameras that are more inexpensive and work about the same, and I actually found some for like 178 versus these cameras were approved for like $1,300, I believe. Does that sound about right?
That's what we pay for ours, but remember, Commissioner, those go directly to your phone and they get saved. So whatever happens, you get the software for a year. So you're gonna pay for what the price is, you're gonna get good quality, you're gonna buy whatever else you're gonna buy.
Yeah, I
That's what we
purchased,
pay with.
I purchased one for the company that I work for and set it up, and it's the same process. It's, you activate it and it starts recording on a cloud drive. So it holds memory for 6 months and then it'll start again. So it seems to be, I talked to Marty in regards to the cameras he ordered, and they're doing it, they do the same thing based on the specs that they both have. The only thing is one is more expensive than the other. Even though they got approved, I bought that one just to try it out, and it's working for us.
So when is it going to be installed?
We haven't ordered the ones that were approved here for us yet. So I'm going to see if I can use an alternative route to be able to get some sort of placita for the golf course, because those are the main places that have been. I was supposed to order this.
I ordered mine, and I ordered the ones that we needed for the gym.
Okay, so
I already
when I
did
got,
the 2 sets.
when I got with Marty, I asked him, he said, yeah, he said, the specs are right here, he said, we already ordered them. And he said that you had meant to return them, and then you didn't return it, so you never used them.
Because
Anyway,
they sent me both, but they were for inside, I needed inside and out. So I had to send back one set so they could send me the swap.
Judge, out the county, you don't get any hot ones from the hotels that are out there? The hotel motor tax?
No.
Hotel motor tax, I mean, I know like us, we
We
get
don't.
those in the city limits.
No, everything goes to the city.
Everything goes to the city.
No, up to the county, we don't get those. So I don't know if the county can get those, but we could use, like us, we could use hot funds for cameras in the parks. We check the attorneys and, I don't know, that's what I was saying, if y'all could get those hot funds, that money could be used for cameras.
Well, I think you have funds to get cameras, don't you? Yeah, there's funds there, it's just a matter of him ordering the cameras.
And with those cameras, you check them daily, or who's gonna be monitoring that?
it's recording 24/7, and it goes into a iCloud. So just for example, on Saturday when we realized the place had been vandalized, we can go back and check the dates, and it shows you what was captured.
Yeah, because we definitely need cameras out there. Because if they did it one time, they're probably gonna do it again.
It's been happening all the
Yeah.
time.
Well, this is my first time knowing that they have to look into it, so.
Yeah, because you just took over it, that's why
Yeah.
you weren't new, but yeah, it's been a pattern. We did replace the chairs in the meeting room.
Oh, yes, in the conference room, we finally got the 25 new chairs, so the conference room looks really nice, very presentable now. I'm very happy for that.
That's what we're gonna buy, with that. We're gonna buy new chairs that are stackable, the tables where we can hold them, that's our storage room at the rec center.
Oh, and check.
And it's chaos. They do the renting and they put the chairs everywhere, they lock the doors, we can't get in. But we need to buy new chairs and tables to where we can stack them up, like you guys stack them up at the arena.
Oh yeah, those are the chairs for the events. These chairs, let me show the one for the meeting room. So they're kind of
The ones like these, the cotton.
They're kind of like this, but the ones that have been in there for I don't know
They're
how
like
many years.
vinyl material.
The vinyl was coming off, so when you would sit in there for a meeting, you'd get up and you would take part of the vinyl with you when you're cooking.
So they finally got replaced.
So we have those at the rec center, so they're not stackable. It's hard.
Any other discussion?
Judge,
Yes.
Mr. Pereira.
He left again into the sunset.
I thought you had played a Houdini again. Can we put on the budget like a reward for people to turn in those young men that are breaking all the stuff at the parks?
We could do that through the sheriff's office.
Right.
So we can,
Can we do that?
we can do that through the forfeiture fund. at the sheriff's office. If they're so kind, they can do it through the forfeiture fund. And
That's something, because maybe now even the other kids might turn on me, hey, he's breaking this and he
it's a good idea, in all honesty.
Whatever.
We can get with the sheriff's office, Mr. Pereira.
Okay.
It's a team, we're a team, we can work together and work with their forfeiture funds
It
too.
probably is the same kids that are breaking in.
It probably is, but at some point we have to, there has to be some. Any other discussion?
Oh, the good work will be done.
All in favor?
I appreciate that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Fuentes.
Thank you. Have a good day.
3.11, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from JP Precinct 1, Ms. Sonia Guerrero Perez for the month of May 2023.
Morning, Judge. Morning, Commissioners.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Noguera. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Odena. Discussion?
Judge, are you staying with Intech or you're changing to, you guys are changing?
We are looking at the options to see what we're going to.
Make sure that's it. I don't know if it's gonna change the reporting and all that.
I know. Well, we've already, Intech has already bridged over with Southern Software. That's why we're still manually entering our citations, because it was going to take 3 months for Intech and Southern Software to merge. So our offices have been entering the tickets manually, but I think this is the last month. I need to check with Yvette, but it should correspond once everything is complete. I did want to note that our revenue has gone a lot higher, and we were only in the red back in October, but as you can see, we're like 20,000 above on our revenue.
Judge,
Yes.
are you still doing inquest?
Yes, sir.
Are
I
y'all
just
doing,
did one on Sunday at the hospital.
are y'all doing inquest in person or are y'all doing them over the phone?
I've been doing them in person. I've gone to residences and I do them at the hospital. The only ones that I don't do, like the other day, I had an inquest for an IA, and he was fresh, and they went ahead and brought him to Leonard's Funeral Home. And the reason that I didn't go out there was because the officers are able to take pictures for me, and he had 2 forms of identification, and there was another individual that was traveling with him, and he could be identified, and there was no foul play. Photos were taken, and I did the inquest over the phone. But because they're so far into the ranches, sometimes we don't go in there because our vehicles are not, we can't go in through, I have a little SUV unless Border Patrol picks us up or the Sheriff's Department, and that's very time consuming. But in this case, I didn't go out there because he had identification.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
I am not going to the jail during the week to magistrate. I only go on the weekends because we've had a lot of issues. I've had issues at the jail, safety issues. So that's why I haven't gone back. We didn't go because of COVID, but then I started going back and I had some safety issues and concerns. Until I feel that they're addressed, then I'll go back. Right now, I'm doing them through the client attorney visitation room. And a jailer comes out and meets me. I do it in there and then he walks me out. But I don't go inside the jail.
But the whole COVID regulations and things, those are lifted already.
Yes, the
Governor Abbott has said that you guys can now do inquest, or you're supposed to do inquest, I guess, in person and magistrate in person, correct?
Yes, and hold court as well.
And hold court as well?
Judge, if you don't mind, give the judge the request for you're afraid of it, so we see that it's been taken care of by the Sheriff Department.
I
That way
did.
We can ask questions.
I did speak to the county judge. I did speak to Lieutenant Hernandez when it happened. I did speak to Richard at the time as well, that I had concerns about it. I had an individual come at me, so to speak, where I had to stand up and I didn't feel secure to continue to go back. So at this point, that's why I haven't gone back.
And she's correct, Commissioner. She did advise me, and we promptly got with the administration at the time that was at the sheriff's office. I did meet with Sheriff Castañeda last week, and I did advise him of that as well. And I think we're going to get together with the JPs to try to incorporate or implement some kind of security measures so that the inmates are not running around, if you will, in the area where the JPs are magistrating. And I'm confident that the sheriff's office, with the direction of Sheriff Castañeda and Chief Saniceros and Captain Prieto, that we are going to resolve that matter, that there will not be, the jail administrator Montes is there too, that we're not going to be having the issue where our JPs are afraid to go and magistrate because there's safety issues. That is very important to me. I've discussed that with them numerous times about the safety of having them there because, like I said, Governor Abbott lifted the restrictions from COVID. So before with COVID, they were able to magistrate or do inquest over the phone. But now because that's been lifted, the proper protocol or practices for them to go to the courthouse and magistrate or go do an inquest. But I know that because of safety reasons, she had advised me. I'm not too sure, we'll ask the other JPs how they do it, but I know with Judge Sonia, she did advise me. At the time we took it to the administration at the sheriff's office, I was not aware that it was not corrected with that other administration, but obviously I know now today. However, I had already talked to Sheriff Castañeda last week about that, and so we can continue having that discussion because I do want not only our JPs but all our Dimmit County employees to be in a safe environment.
And if it's okay with Commissioner's Court Judge and the Sheriff and the jail, I'd like to continue doing magistrations through the attorney-client visitation room. If everybody does go back, that's where I would like to continue to do them because I'm behind that glass divider and I just feel safer. If that would be
That's
okay.
fine. This is the first time I hear about it. That happened.
Yes. There was 2 incidents that happened with me, but the one where the girl stood up and kind of came at me was where I had to stand up and felt like I had to defend myself as well. And I don't feel like I should ever have to be put in that position, sir.
Any other discussion? I think we voted already, right? Okay. Yes, thank you. Thank you, Judge. 3.12, discussion of monthly appropriate action for monthly report JP Precinct 2, Mr. Alberto Esquivel for the month of May 2023.
Motion to table.
Motion to table by Commissioner Rubalcaba.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries. Excuse me, 3.13, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from JP Precinct 3, Ms. Leticia Hernandez for the month of May 2023. Morning, Judge.
Morning. Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Juan Carmona. Any discussion?
You're following the same protocol, correct? To vote, any question on that?
I don't know.
You can vote?
No, I don't know the phone. Especially at nighttime because of my eyes. And then the deputies have to go pick me up, and then they have to bring me to the site, and then they have to take me back.
I have a question, Judge. So like, let's say if it's, if there's foul play or like if there's a murder, how will you know whether to,
Well, that's why the deputies, the ones that do they're the investigating officers.
so but then they'll tell you when you're doing the inquest over the phone?
Yes, ma'am. That's what they do. I ask them, the questions I need to ask them, and they have all the answers and all.
And then for the magistration, do you have any safety issues? Do you,
In the past, I did, they call me the FB or, you know, all of that. But I haven't gone to magistrate at the jailhouse.
so you,
I do it over the phone now
over the phone?
because of my health. I was, you know, with the COVID and all, I have a lot of issues.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
3.14, discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from JP Precinct 4, Mr. Alfredo Martinez for the month of May 2023.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning, Judge. I'll entertain a motion. Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Odena. Discussion? Same questions, Mr. Judge Martinez. Do you do your inquest
I
in
went
person?
to everything. I go magistrate at the county jail, go to the inquests. Once in a while, I don't go to illegal aliens. I call a deputy to a thorough investigation and to make sure there was no foul play. And I come from magistrate to the Lincoln Funeral Home, fill out the paperwork.
And the magistration, you go to the
I've
jail?
been going since I started 2007.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from District Clerk Ms. Marisela Gonzalez for the month of May 2023.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners.
Maya, now we weren't here.
You're good.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve by Commissioner Alonso Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Noguera. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Mari.
Thank you.
Discuss.
It isn't particularly report, but the building back there, is it still leak or I haven't heard anything about it?
Yeah, we're in discussion with Mr. Pereira and Ms. Mari about that because there's issues regarding that.
It is in rough shape, rough shape. We have, some of the ceiling tiles have fallen off. Our filing cabinets have gotten some rust issues because of the water damage. There's a lot of bugs that come in.
We've been finding
Beetles,
that,
cockroaches, you name it, it's in there. It's rough.
Which building?
The one right here where the gas station used to be?
We just sent the exterminator out there. He didn't stop by?
I
That you're aware of?
not that I'm aware of, Commissioner. I don't know who and all has a key to get
Yes.
in there but my office.
Because they came and did all the buildings.
yeah, but you tell him to do that. If he doesn't know it's there, he's gonna go. Because usually when you say courthouse, it's only that courthouse.
Well, I
And
told
the
you all
annex.
the buildings. that-
Right, but maybe they don't know that it's ours. I mean, not ours, ours.
I'll get him back to come and
I'd appreciate it.
exterminate.
Yes.
And we're also I'm getting a quote to fix the outside of it. We're gonna do it a different material than what it's got. So we're looking at 2 options. So I'm working on that.
Thank you.
3.16, discussion appropriate action, approval to hire a full-time deputy clerk for the office of district clerk effective June 5th. Yes, we voted. On her report, yes. It was just a question that Commissioner Carmona brought up.
Oh,
Yeah, it's not on the agenda.
don't be mentioning me out.
Approval to hire a full-time deputy clerk for the office of district clerk effective June 5th, 2023 to fill the vacancy.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Carmona, Alonso Carmona, Second by Commissioner Uranda. Any discussion? All in favor? Any opposition? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Mari.
Thank you.
Discussion and appropriate action monthly report from the county clerk, Mr. Mario Garcia, for the month of May 2023.
Motion to table.
Motion to table by Commissioner Noguera.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Juan Carmona. Any discussion? All in favor? Any objection? Motion carries. Discussion and appropriate action, approval of travel for County Clerk Mario Garcia, Deputy Clerks Belinda Sally to attend 41st Annual Election Seminar. I'll entertain a motion to table.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Noguera. Second by Commissioner Juan Carmona. All in favor? Motion carries. Discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from county commissioners for the month of May 2023.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Noguera. On the reports, commissioners, if I could get your signatures, they were submitted without signatures, so when you have an opportunity, if you can swing by my office so that Ms. Hernandez can document that because they were submitted without signatures. The second was by Commissioner Noguera. Any discussion?
Judge, for
Yes.
the information, I got two reports, so I missed up one of them. So the two reports are there.
Yes, because they weren't submitted, correct? That was for your two, Commissioner Vela? They weren't submitted?
Ma'am, if you don't mind, give us a courtesy call, because sometimes we forget. Just come inside.
She did call. She called your office to have you guys come and sign it.
I'm better with my cell phone than my own,
So you want her to call you directly,
Yes.
not your secretary?
because she's not there sometimes. Not making excuses, but I did feel.
You can call my secretary.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries. Discussion and appropriate action, discussion and appropriate action requesting to purchase a shop air compressor for precinct 2.
Judge,
Go ahead, go ahead.
we have a small compressor and they give out, so we've been looking for a commercial. However, it shows that Uvalco and Lowe's, I believe, are lower price, but I'm not familiar with those compressors. And I don't know if we can be able to find parts for it, so I would rather stay local and get the Ingersoll, which is the top of the line. Compressor.
The 4,599?
Well, because I don't know who manufactures the other one. And if we have issues, I don't want to send it to Japan.
We're open for discussion.
Yes, we're open for discussion.
But you can always call the company and they can be.
Yeah, remember what the purpose calling the company if it's in New York City or something like that.
Sure, I was gonna ask, do you have 230 volts switches connected?
They all are.
On that, I mean, because that's a big difference, 4,500, and then Uvalco is 2,900. The make of that, the make of the compressor, I mean, if it messes up, wouldn't they have to get it supplied from somewhere else too? I'm just trying to figure out what the make is for the one that nicks.
It's an Ingersoll. Everyone can get the wall. I'm not familiar with those.
I would say, Commissioner, get the information from them, and that way you can justify your estimate for the warranty and all of that, and that way, if we know that it's not a quality compressor, then you got an argument. But right now, if we're just saying the difference of $2,000 more.
I understand, but there's always a quality compressor. But, whatever court decides.
But it's a big difference also in horsepower. You also is a 5 horsepower motor.
And this is 7.5.
This is a 7.5 horsepower. It's not up to the problem. Sorry? No se dijo con the work. This one.
Yeah, but when you get quotes, you sort of exactly what you're looking for. Also,
But
one of them can
I got a
put,
quote of 7.5 and I asked them, and that's not always
okay,
good
well,
about
you didn't say it, but.
No, but I'm telling you that that's why.
I understand, Commissioner, pero that's why I was saying, you need to compare apple with apples and orange with oranges. Because if they see you for one, you automatically disqualify that one.
No, I
And
see
the
what
other
you're
one, and the other one is 7, and the other people are seeing 5, then that's your excuse right there. Not excuse, I mean, but that's actually your.
He's just saying that you need to get 555-777.
Right.
We get the one for Uvalco, also 5.
Where?
Uvalco.
The one for you got was a 5.
And the one for Lowe's is
It's a
it doesn't,
5.7.
where's the Lowe's one? I just see 175 PSI.
It's a 5.1 horsepower. And
So you see, the second two will be the ball. Is that what you said?
I mean, it's up to y'all. I'd rather have the 7.5, but because we do heavy work there. So it's more horsepower than the other ones. And more reliable. Like I say, I'm not familiar with the other.
That 5 one is for this Puma for Uvalco, correct? The one, the picture? So the one for Lowe's, you don't have what the horsepower is? The DeWalt? I don't see
I
it.
thought I had copied it down, but it's a 5.something ounce.
I don't see it. So your motion, or you're asking for, on your motion, is it on on the agenda request? Because the item just says to purchase a shop air, so are we voting to pick one, or are you asking for more information?
I would take your recommendation.
I mean, there's 2 different types, and he's got the 7 horsepower and the 5 horsepower, so.
That's why that's why Commissioner Juan Carmona is saying that we need information on the same, like apples, oranges, orange. So are you gonna request for more information?
I would say, call the companies and tell them you're looking for a 7.5, not a 5.0 or whatever.
I went through the process. But whatever y'all decide. I mean, I'm just
Whatever the court decides, I'm fine with it.
I'm not gonna argue about a compressor, so.
Nobody's arguing about a compressor. I'm trying to tell you that this is different, that you got a 5.0 and a 7.5, that's all.
I'm gonna make a motion to table that, so Commissioner Carmona can get all his details. And that way he can also decide whether he wants to go with the bigger one or the 5 horsepower. That's my motion.
Motion by Commissioner Odena, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Juan Carmona. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection?
Aye.
One objection by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Motion carries. 3.21, discussion and appropriate action requesting for Rio Grande Heating and Cooling LLC to replace the condensers circuit board precinct 2.
This is where the courthouse, ma'am? That's the air conditioner, they're trained at. They order, to get through, they're gonna order the electric pad that it needs, so the air conditioning will start working back in order. We had several companies come and look at it. Nobody wanted to touch because it was a crane. I tried our local Cool Comfort contract, and they were saying they didn't want to even touch it, so. This is the only company that really deals with those trained air conditioners.
I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Odena, second by Commissioner Noguera. Any other discussion?
Judge, I
Yes.
would like to try this company also, because I have a lot of issues with the border control. And I call, I can't remember the name of the company, but they charge me the time they leave from San Antonio.
They charge,
And by the time they get back, so it's about $5,000 or $6,000.
They charge travel time.
It's about $800 just for the trip, so I don't think we need to be paying all of that. And if these people can handle that, then I would prefer to use these people.
If you want to put that as an agenda item
Yes,
for yours.
I even talked to Cool Comfort, and they couldn't fix those because they're computerized. So I said,
Is Cool Comfort in our contract?
well, we had a contract, but I don't know if it's expired or not.
Cool Comfort is here a contractor?
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. That's why he's bringing it back, because they won't do it, so we've got to get them approved.
So if you can't do it, then what are you doing with the contractor?
We can fire them, Commissioner. So anytime that there's any professional services under the government code, we can fire and hire. That's two.
That's 2 strikes already with Alonso and then Mr. Carmona also.
If that's something that you want to bring to the agenda, you can. Anytime that there's professional services, which include contract like ACs, which include the architect, which include engineers, those are all, we don't have to go out for bids for those professional services. You can hire and fire. It's under the government code.
We have them in the contract, but they can't do the
Perform,
work for us to
correct.
perform it, so what's the point of having them?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries. Discussion and appropriate action, request approval for Road and Bridge 4 to purchase a new truck for the landfill.
Judge, 3.22 and 3.23 on the table.
3.22 and 3.23,
Receive
the quotes. I am going to entertain a motion for 3.22 and 3.23, which both reflect to purchase a new truck for the landfill and a loader for the landfill. Entertain a motion to table.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Juan Carmona. Discussion.
Commissioner, for protection, be sure you put down what kind of truck, is it a trash truck, or a dump truck, or whatever. The law says it's truck, it could be a pickup. So, just put it on.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries. Discussion and appropriate action requesting approval for Road and Bridge 4 to hire 1 part-time employee effective June 12th.
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Juan Carmona, second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries. Discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from Dimmit County Golf Course for the month of May 2023.
Judge, Melissa will be serving as a proxy since Magnum had an emergency this morning.
Motion to table by Commissioner Rubalcaba. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Juan Carmona. The discussion? You,
Can I ask what we're taking?
I have questions. Are you gonna answer them or?
I can definitely answer.
so are you removing your motion to table?
My thing is, when they're not here, we table, so are we gonna start doing when they're not here?
I mean, technically, but Mr. Jaime is not the, he's not the golf course, he just does it as,
Who's the golf course?
We don't
he's
have,
golf course.
everybody knows we haven't been able to hire a golf course manager.
I know he's
No, I understand that, but what I'm saying is there is no golf course manager, so Manuel Jaime, as a courtesy for Commissioner Urenda, has only been presenting
That's a proxy.
for whoever,
So he's a proxy?
for whoever, because there's no
I
manager.
mean, the report's actually self-explanatory, but there's questions, I'll be one to happy to answer.
Commissioner, just for your information, remember we had stopped Commissioner Carmona from answering for his chief. So if you want to go ahead and take the book, then you're the one that's gonna have to give him until you get a manager.
Got it. And if I don't have a manager, Commissioner, I mean, the report was being requested and it's being performed to the point, so I'm just trying to.
I understand, I requested those reports. I'm the one that requested them, also your utility and all of them, and even the sanitation's gotta be one too. So my question is, are you the one that's gonna be answering the question? Because we have stopped.
For
Commissioner
now, for
Carmona.
today, yes. Once we hire a manager, that person will take on the responsibility.
So when is that?
I mean, I wish I could tell you, we've been looking for one, Commissioner, but it's, I mean, it's the same, we'll sit here and talk about the same thing. The pay, lack of interest, I mean, we can't hire somebody. We tried 3 or 4 other people.
I put it with the Texas workforce, it's been running already like 2 months and nothing.
My only concern is that if, like, for instance, with Commissioner Alonso Carmona not answering for the Assistant Chief, David, we know David will be here back, but I know Commissioner Rubalcaba has questions, or has had questions about these reports, and if we're never gonna have a manager to come and give a report, we're never gonna be able to hold the golf course accountable for the questions that the commissioner may have. I mean, unless you wanna, because I don't know when that position is gonna be filled, and whatever questions you may have are forever gonna be on hold if y'all don't want him or somebody else to answer them. Because technically, Manuel's not supposed to be the person to do it, because Manuel is regulatory or whatnot.
Utility. So from now on, it'll be Mr. Urenda then?
I mean, unless y'all don't want him to answer them, and we'll just have to hold your questions until he hires.
I'm asking because we've already told the elected officials that aren't here.
I agree with the elected officials.
To table it, so that's what I'm asking. Is he the one that would be in charge now, since there's no manager yet?
I would assume,
That way we know right now.
I would assume that he would be the one to be held accountable for the golf course while we find somebody. The elected officials, I totally agree, because they're the elected officials and we have to ask them questions, and we would hope that at some point the elected officials come before the commissioner's court. But I don't know when he's gonna hire somebody for the golf course, because it's been months, I guess, since he has somebody. That's my opinion. Obviously I'm one vote, but if you guys want to wait, y'all can.
May I make a suggestion?
Go ahead.
Why don't we just table it for this month, and if they're not, if there's anyone, nobody, then we can report. Or he can give a report.
If that motion y'all want.
If that's my suggestion, see what it does.
Well, Commissioner Rubalcaba motion to table it, and Commissioner Juan, Commissioner Juan seconded, so we can vote to either table it or we oppose if there's anybody in opposition. You leave your motion like that, Commissioner? The motion on the table is to table it. Is there any other discussion? All in favor to table, say aye.
Aye.
All Opposed?
Aye.
Aye. We have 2 oppositions, Commissioner Odena and Judge Ponce. And if you can, Commissioner, I know it's hard, but if you can get out there to get somebody to get hired, because, I mean, we have questions, we want those, at least I want the questions answered. Discussion and, thank you, Ms. Medina. 3.26, discussion and appropriate action, approval to renew contract with Agra Gem Power LLC for maintenance of generators. That's yours, Ms. Medina.
Well, it was probably Manuel's, but he's not here. Our contract's gonna come to an end this month, and Billy, he's the one that services our generators, so we want to renew. Did go and ask Teresa Turner from Austin Generators if she could give us a bid, but she said that her boss said no because it's too far. They would do it previously before Billy, but they're not willing to do it. It's too far for them to come out here and do that. And Billy is right there in Hondo. So he does it, and he works with us. He does it in the evenings due to when we have court. And he does it whenever he works with us.
So is this asking for a new contract?
To renew the contract with him because we couldn't find anyone else, which the other one would have been Austin Generator, but like I said, they weren't willing to.
I'm gonna motion to table this item, but also to allow the Commissioners Court to have myself, the county judge, sit down with either our county attorney or our attorney to review this contract before it gets approved. That's my motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Juan Carmona. Any discussion?
When is the date that it expires?
It's gonna expire this month,
But what date?
the last day. So if anything, it's not gonna be surfaced.
But they can charge individually, correct?
I'm more than sure
can,
he
by
can.
service.
He probably can.
Yeah, we can call it, if something happens to Jimmy, we can always call it.
Yeah, they'll charge us extra, but until we get this correct, because it's a lot of language that I don't understand, but they know how to do it.
Mr. Odena, on the contract, on these, who's in charge of these, the contracts?
On the generators, utility,
Usually, since it's already due, Judge, I know we had an issue also with the jail administrator on the contracts.
We still haven't done that one.
Okay, and it's already expired, but why do we wait till it's going to expire? We should do it 30 days prior to expiration.
I think that's a
That
question,
was
This issue happened.
that's a question to ask.
That was me, like, he had given it to me and I had just put it aside, and then he did call me and he asked me about it and I had completely forgot about it, so that's why I brought it. But yes, that was on me, like I forgot. But yes, actually, the price went down and he services, what is it, the jail?
services to all the generators.
Yeah, all of them.
All the generators.
All of them, he does.
And
Like I
we've
said,
seen the results, when we had the storms and 3 of them went down, he came out
yeah.
immediately came out, because he's so close and he came out as needed. That's the biggest advantage.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries. Discussion and appropriate action, approval of posting no traffic on Valley Street.
Judge, on this item, we've had several constituents contact us in regards to the heavy traffic. We've got trucks coming in from Eagle Pass, we're in Indio, and they divert through Valley Street to avoid the city 277 route because of no traffic, no heavy traffic allowance. And they're using Valley Street and busting it up because they're loaded with base, they're grossing over 80,000. And aside from just the road, there's also very shallow water lines and gas lines that the city has there. And that's why they continue to have leaks, because of vibration of all this equipment.
I entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Juan Carmona. All in favor, any discussion?
Is this in the county?
Yes, it's in the front.
I would recommend you put some speeds on there. They don't like the speed, bumps. Yeah, but they don't like them because they, the treasures.
And we've gone out there and patched several areas, Commissioner, where we're waiting on, talking to, that's the one you and I had talked about going and reclaiming to reshape and then cap it with either seal coat or comex. But I've been waiting on Dan because he says he has a plan for it, so we can go ahead and redo that. It needs it. It's pretty, what if worse?
I was wondering if we were gonna tackle that once, yes, we will make plans to tackle it.
I'll get on it and I'll get with you.
Oh.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries. Monthly report from Dimmit County Assistant Fire Chief, Mr. David Torres, for the month of May 2023.
Motion to table, Judge.
Motion to table by Commissioner Rubalcaba, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Juan Carmona. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries. Discussion and appropriate action, approval to change work week from Friday to Thursday for payroll processing and internal audit team.
Morning, Judge and Commissioners. The reason I had put this on the agenda was right now the way the week is set up, it goes from Tuesday to Monday. And I'm asking, it's a little confusing on the item, but I'm asking to change it from Tuesday to Monday to be Friday to Thursday. And the reason for that is because, as you know, we get paid every Friday. So essentially my office has Tuesday to work on it, Monday and Tuesday to work on payroll 2 days before it has to get sent out to the bank through ACH on Wednesday. And I mean, that was fine before whenever the county was a lot smaller. But now that we're pushing 200 employees, and I'm pretty sure we're working on expanding the county, having more employees, it's getting harder and harder to process payroll in just those 2 days. So the reason why I'm asking is to change the week. If we change the week to end on Thursday, we can work on payroll Friday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, so it can still go out every Friday. We would just have more time to work on it and prevent any mistakes or be able to catch things on time.
I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Odena, is there a second? No second? Mr. Pereira?
Okay. What would happen there is we would have to cut 2 days of their pay.
Just for the first,
Right.
just for the transition.
Right, just so you know.
Well, we wouldn't cut their pay, it would just be,
Well, I know.
it would be,
But they would receive a shorter paycheck the first time that we do it.
and then after that, it would go back to normal.
Would it also be a good idea, also for like future reference, Mr. Ortiz, for you to request maybe perhaps more staff to help? I mean, if you're saying that they're increasing, we're increasing in how many employees we have, as maybe perhaps when this happened, we were at 100 employees, now you're close to 200. Would you requesting for additional staff help or alleviate that?
I mean, I can, but this is a way where I wouldn't have to, because if I increase my staff, I'd have to increase the budget for my office even more. So this would be a way to not have to increase expenses, but still get the work we need done more efficiently.
But you have part-time also.
Yes, I do.
Full-time now.
Not yet.
Part-time or as a student,
No, he's a
student?
regular part-time. But on the system, we only have one access point to do payroll. it's not accessed through the 3 accounts in my office. Only 1 account can actually be logged on and doing, because of the permissions.
Well, right now the motion's on the table, so we'll wait and then we'll discuss it.
What if we try just moving it to Friday, because that gives you another day?
What's that, Mr. President? I can't hear you.
Moving what to Friday?
This is the Monday, is that what you want to do for on Friday?
Yes, to the week end.
He's saying to cut it off on Thursday so that he has Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to.
So we can get all the timesheets on Friday.
Well, when you move it to cut it off on Fridays, you get it Monday, that gives you another day. One more day. Instead of 2 days. Cutting off on Friday is, because right now.
But he's saying to submit the timesheets Friday.
Because right now, the way it's set up is it's from Tuesday to Monday. Right? So that's why on Tuesday, we get all the computer timesheets. So we have Tuesday and Wednesday, or half of Wednesday mostly, to get it done, because we have to send off the ACH by certain times to make sure
Everybody gets paid on Friday. So essentially, you only have a day and a half to work on payroll.
For the computer timesheets, yes, but for the paper timesheets, we get them on Monday, so we have a little bit more time. But this way, we could get both the paper timesheets and the computer timesheets on the same day, and we would have all of Friday, and then all of Monday, all of Tuesday, and half of Wednesday to make sure everything's correct. And essentially, the only real change for everybody else, it would just be the day everything's due. I mean, it doesn't change anybody's schedules. It doesn't.
Everybody would still get paid on Friday.
Everybody would get paid on Friday. It would just be a matter of when we get everything turned into our office.
So timesheets would be due on Monday instead of.
Well, I'm asking for to be turned on Friday because the week is going to end on Thursday.
Okay. So for the timesheets to be due Friday, so then you have the remainder of Friday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to work on timesheets, so that everybody can get paid by Friday.
Yes. Well, and it'd be the same thing. Everybody already gets paid on Friday, so I'm just asking for so I can have more days, so my office can work on it.
And you're
make
saying
sure
only
it's-
one person can do payroll in your office because that's what the licenses allow.
That's for the permissions, yes.
Is there any way that we can get you additional permission so that more than one person can work on payroll?
We would have to probably reach out to GP.
Probably can, I don't know that we would be able to function that way. We would have to check the system and see how that would work, but we can work out that. That would probably not be a problem, it's a problem how do you coordinate to have 2 people working at the same time.
So that's not plausible for 2 people to, what I'm trying to do is, 'cause I understand Mr. Ortiz's concern. He's obviously here because he's asking for more time because it's a lot of work is essentially what I'm hearing. So my question to you is at least on my behalf, I want to make it so where he's not having to struggle to do the payroll. Either he hires more people, and he's saying he's trying to be financially conservative and save the county money by not having to hire more people. So the other alternative is getting another system so that 2 people can work on it at a time. But if that's not plausible,
We don't know, we haven't asked, it might be, but that would be something that we would have to check again because it would have to be coordinated if 2 people were doing it. So we would have to go back with them. On the other hand, it does give us time to audit because right now we're doing the audit of the
Payroll after the fact.
so going to this Friday to Thursday would benefit both of you guys, the auditor's office and the treasurer's.
So it would benefit you? It would benefit you?
He said yes.
Yeah, I mean, yes, it would also help us because we could audit it before it actually goes out. So by Wednesday, if we get the payroll before it goes out, we can check it before. Because right now we have to do it after the fact. And so everything has to be retroactive to the following pay period gets correct.
Are you having any problems with the audit?
Well,
even though it's after the fact.
Yes, we always have, we bring
Yes,
back
there have been some,
issues.
there has been some mistakes, and that's why I'm asking for this, so we can mitigate those mistakes.
So we have to go back and correct them.
And
What
you,
I'm saying is, you say there's 200 employees.
He said he's pushing.
We're pushing on, we're about 187 right now.
I count 124.
Now, if some people don't have comp time, they won't be on that.
On this?
If they don't have comp time, that's just the comp time report.
It's sick, vacation, and comp.
Yes.
Right, because the part-timers won't be on there, the temporaries, so that might be all the full-time employees, but there's still some employees that won't be on there because they don't have vacation sick or comp.
And are employees going to lose any days?
No,
The first, they're gonna lose.
Or are they going to
never
lose
lose.
any days?
They never lose.
they never lose.
They never lose.
But they'll be short.
They
on
they
Monday.
might get, there might be an extra paycheck, but it would be a lot smaller because it's just to have
Right
those
now,
two.
right now as it is, you know, they're out there and everything else, then we're gonna cut them a day for one time, and then we're gonna have headaches.
Okay, but I would recommend, when is the third pay period in the month?
September, I would. Yeah, that'd be a hard one.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't be losing money, they would just
I
get
understand,
a
you
smaller.
have to do with them, I do, with my workers. And I hate to punish them for something that is not their fault. If anything goes wrong, I fire them, I don't keep them.
I don't think we're punishing them, are we?
Well, they're gonna get it.
Essentially, they're gonna get a smaller paycheck the first time, and then the second time, it'll
Go back.
go
Back to normal.
go back.
Back to normal.
Like
And
we
what
do-
about that, they
That, so that day that they lose, will it be reflected on the second paycheck? So you're saying they're gonna work for free?
No. It gets moved, so right now, whatever they're making right now, they don't make the same amount until they get a complete 80 hours.
That's what I'm saying.
So they would get,
But what they have right now, they're not gonna get back, they're not gonna get additional pay for those 2 days.
that transition period, it would be like.
So
it would
when are
be
they gonna
two-
get paid for those 2 days?
On Friday. On the following, because it would be like because every paycheck is worth 14 days, correct? 2 weeks. But just that one time, that transition, one paycheck will be only.
It'll be
10 days.
smaller. It'll
only
be-
10 days.
They give, I'm gonna be,
get what?
What they do?
okay. Right, they're gonna get paid. Right now, they're getting paid 10 days. They're gonna get paid 8 days. The next period, they're gonna get 10 days. Those 2 days are gonna go into the bank. And they're gonna constantly get paid 10 days. So those 2 days, they just stay in there until the end.
They're gonna be making this money.
Hmm?
They're gonna be making the money, they're in the bank, they're accumulating.
Well, but maybe we can do another thing. What if we do 1 day per month and make it easier on them?
Now you got me all confused.
Yeah.
Why don't you research it again and do a better explanation? I mean, this is so confusing that I myself is like, what are you talking about?
Don't take much, don't take much. With 1 day, now we're up to 2 days.
But like I said, why don't we table it and you do your research and bring us the accurate answer? Because this is, I'm not gonna,
Look, I'll tell you like how the calendar. If this week is we're getting paid this week, right? The 23rd? So that paycheck of the 23rd is gonna include all the time from the 6th to the 19th, correct? So that one transition period, it's just gonna cover Wednesday and Thursday, 2 days, plus the next week, which is 7 days. So there's gonna, that transition week or pay period is gonna be worth 9 days. And then after that, everything goes back to normal. Nobody's losing any money, they just might get they're gonna get a smaller paycheck,
But they are gonna lose money, because the way Mr. Pereira's explaining it to us, Mr. Pereira is saying that this next paycheck, if we go to that new program, Mr. Pereira is saying that they're gonna get paid 8 days. And they're gonna get paid 8 days, so obviously their paycheck's gonna be smaller. The next pay period, it goes back to normal, obviously, which is 10 days. But what we're asking, the Commissioner's Court, and correct me if I'm wrong, what we're asking is, those 2 days that they're gonna be missing, when are they gonna get those 2 days? And Mr. Pereira is saying that they're not gonna get those 2 days until they leave employment at Dimmit
You
County.
can just do like a supplemental payroll and just pay him the 2 days. Or just have,
No, it doesn't work that way.
Because then what's gonna happen is that he's gonna have his people, they're gonna have their people, I'm gonna have my secretary back there. The sheriff's gonna have his employees back there saying, hey, what the heck, why am I 2 days short? And our answer's gonna be, you get it when you leave, whenever you retire.
well, we've also done, this has happened in the past before. It changed, it used to be,
Right, and they lost those days. I mean, that's why we're at right now.
You said the magic word, Bob.
Lost.
So, well, you did lose, it's like this. You make $1,000 and
I totally understand it. Y'all understand what we're saying now, right? You don't understand?
I understand.
No, I totally understand what you're saying. My question is, or I guess my comment would be, is that if it's going to affect the employees, Dimmit County, our employees, from losing those 2 days and not getting them until when they leave, then I'm not sure that's a very sound decision. But again, I'm only one vote, you can vote however you want.
why can't we just add them to the payroll?
If we can add,
Because it doesn't, they need to be, it's not, it
It's
doesn't work
only
that
that,
way.
it's only that one time.
No, because you're not,
There wasn't a second, so
They're
changing.
The multiply.
what I would recommend is do 1 day, move it to cut up on,
regardless, if we move it 1 day, 2 days, 10 days, they're gonna be missing 1 day of pay.
Cause they get a lot less than we.
So what I would say, what I would suggest that we do for reference, Oscar and Mr. Ortiz and Mr. Perez, get together, try to find a resolution, if we can do some kind of supplemental pay, or if we can somehow add those 2 days to the next pay period, because we have to try to find a resolution. That's what we're here for, to work with one another and to try to find a resolution to alleviate his job from being overwhelmed, but also that it does not affect our employees.
okay, this is what we did last time, we had to cut off. We used to have it on Friday, we used to cut off on Tuesday, Monday. We did it, first of all, on the months that have 3 pay periods. So it makes it easier for them on that pay period, that month. So you do it, there's the last pay period of the month, which is the 3rd pay period, and that makes it easier for the employees.
I don't want to, it won't be easy for anybody, because I can tell you as,
They already have their payroll set, how they're gonna.
some people budget for that amount,
That's what I'm saying.
and not everybody gets paid a lot of money at this county, and that's, they're in black and white, and so this, at this point, it's just educational for you to maybe sit down and perhaps find a resolution on how we can put that without them having to wait to when they either quit or get fired or whatever the case might be, to get paid. So there was not a second, so the agenda item died pretty much. So if you can find a resolution to that, Mr. Ortiz, in conjunction with Mr. Pereira, or if there's anything that my office can do to assist you. I don't want you to think that we don't want to, I understand you, it's a lot of work for 3 people for almost close to 200 employees. If we can find a resolution to try to, like I said, alleviate the workload for you, I'm open for that discussion. I mean, I'm speaking for myself, but if you can find a resolution.
Appropriate. Yeah, 1 day. We've done that in the past.
I just don't want our employees to be short 2 days on a paycheck.
The light company gonna tell you 1 day short.
Well, and that's why,
But regardless, Mr. Pereira, whether it's 1 day or 2 days, they're still gonna be short on their check.
that's what I'm saying, if we have 1 day, let's suppose we do it in September, when we have a 3 pay period month, it makes it easier for everybody. So,
But they're still gonna be short.
Correct.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move on to the next item. 3.30, discussion and appropriate action, approval to amend policy to implement catastrophic illness and injury sick leave pool.
This was tabled last time to give y'all a chance to read it.
The one you were asking about.
If y'all have any questions, I can answer them.
I'll entertain a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Uranda. Second. This was just for those that participate in it, right? Correct, Oscar?
Yes, only if you participated, and if you can only have access to them if you make the initial donation.
I'm gonna second it. Any discussion?
Judge,
Yes.
whenever this takes effect or it doesn't work, we need to have something that Commissioner's Court is not hold responsible for, because I know there's gonna be arguments. Because let's say there's 80 hours in this pool, okay? One employee thinks, what are the other ones gonna get? So that's the problem with the school.
No, you can't, it's in there that you can't take the whole thing. If there's only a certain amount, you can get, I think by the government code, you can only get up to a third of what's in the pool. If the pool, it's in the original one I submitted about a month ago. It was in there.
No, but when the people ask you, are you gonna tell them that?
Yes, that's part of the conditions of participating in it.
Because I know that, well, anyway.
It has it on here that they can only use a third if it's in the pool, so they can't use all of it.
If the pool is small.
But that's something that you're gonna advise them when they sign this documentation, so that there's some kind of paper trail that they signed and they're being held to that decision. And also, if you see on the last page, Commissioner, there's gonna be a sick leave pool committee, and the decisions of that committee are final. So that's where the accountability would
And the
be.
committee is appointed by Commissioner's Court.
And the committee is appointed by Commissioner's Court, so at the end of the day, that decision will be based on the committee, will the Commissioner's Court approve.
But in no way or form, we have to force them to.
No, nobody has to, no one's forced to participate.
We have.
No, you don't, they don't have to, it's completely voluntary. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any objection?
Aye.
One objection by Commissioner Noguera. Motion carries.
Just as long as it's until there. Everything we do, we get paid for.
3.31, discussion and appropriate action to extend vacation time for Assistant Auditor Virginia Iturbe.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Noguera.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Uranda. Any discussion?
Why?
Actually, it was my fault, I forgot. I was supposed to bring the form, and I didn't bring it, that's why it's just like,
Exactly.
I know.
You know that, you all know that, but it still happens. See, this is the problem we have.
I know.
We agree on something and then we come back and change. We agree on something, we come back and change.
I know, but she had done it, like I said, I was coming over here, I left it, and I didn't bring it. So,
The thing is that we keep bringing it back, we keep voting on it, yes, so what's good for one is good for
Yeah,
all.
but they, I mean,
So there's no need to get upset or, I mean, it happened, it's already done.
pero este periodo.
no, this one is on me.
Any other discussion? So you're asking to be extended for how long? Because we don't have any paperwork or backup or anything, you just submitted a request.
2 months?
So to be extended to August 20th?
Yes.
I'm going to entertain a motion to extend vacation time for Assistant Auditor Virginia Dudabit to August 20th of 2023. Yes, but I'm amending it because it didn't have, went until when it was extended.
Motion.
Motion by Commissioner Odena, is there a second?
Second.
There's a motion, is that the motion to approve or to amend?
The motion to amend it. Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Any other discussion? All in favor to approve the extend the vacation time for Assistant Auditor Virginia Dudabit to August 2023, all in favor?
Aye.
Objection? Motion carries. 3.32, discussion and appropriate action approved.
Are we changing the policy, or is it, because a lot of people have come to ask me that if it's past their anniversary date, can they come and get it extended? I'm like, well, you're supposed to do it before. So do I go back and tell all those people that?
And that's the problem that Commissioner Oka was talking about. He's saying that, we're going to change the policy on that because he's already had several people say that their vacation time's coming up, can they get it extended too?
It has to come to Commissioner's Court and get it approved, just like everybody else.
But it was in the policy that you come get it approved before your anniversary date.
That's correct, that's the way it's supposed to be, and that's why Commissioner Juan Carmona was asking Mr. Pereira that, Mr. Pereira said he forgot.
So this is just opening the door for anybody to come after their anniversary date to get it?
Pretty much is what Commissioner Luca was saying, exactly.
Do it for one, we have to do it for all.
I'm just, so I can let the people who have come ask me, I can let them know to come after.
I agree with Commissioner Luca, I think that there has to be some kind of either policy or as a Commissioner's Court, we have to vote moving forward that we are not going to approve those because it's gonna.
It has to be in the policy because I understand Mr. Carmona's point of view that we have, in the past, we've done this way, but it's just an agenda item, it's not approved in the policy. So we're breaking, it's not that we're breaking, it's not a policy. So we can do it with it, or we can vote against it, or vote for it. So that's what we
I agree.
kind of want for all of us, because if we say one, it's good for one, it's good for all.
I
It's just
agree.
the way it's going to continue until we have it in the policy.
Do we have that on the policy, Mr. Ortiz?
I'm 90% sure yes, but I'm gonna double check.
See what you did, Mr. Pereira?
Yes. Vote on a case by case.
It's in the policy that,
Because I don't mind either way, I just feel we should be consistent.
I agree, and that's why Commissioner Luca was saying that we have to be consistent because if we open the door for one, then you allow it for everybody else moving forward.
This fiscal year, Mr. Pereira was not the first one. We already have one that already asked for extended days. So we agreed, we said yes. That's why I voted yes, because we had already said yes to the other person. And it's a pattern, it continues, and it keeps going.
So I think for this next coming fiscal year, I think it's a decision.
It says prior.
It says prior, so I think Commissioner, to better resolve it moving on the next fiscal year, maybe perhaps as a court, we can vote against it because we have to be held accountable if it's on the policy. 3.32, discussion and appropriate action, approval to renew health insurance with TAC for 2023-2024. I already signed the original. Is this the original?
That's the original.
Motion by Commissioner Juan Carmona. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Rubalcaba. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Can I just just to let the commissioners know, we're keeping the same coverage that we have right now, and it's going up 144,000, but that's just to keep the same coverage.
The grandfather plan.
Yeah, and plus in addition to the grandfather plan.
And also, just for the record, Mr. Pereira and I are working very closely with TAC to start bringing other health programs to Dimmit County to help alleviate the benefits that we get at the end of the year in terms of getting money back from TAC. We're on the lower end. I anticipate, and I was fixing to get with Commissioner Rubalcaba to have we have a Patel with TAC she's going to be having a seminar training regarding the health aspects of TAC that would help us also get some money back at the end of the year. I know in the past, historically speaking, we had two major trainings that went for TAC, which was the Thanksgiving training and also the Christmas training. However, we incorporated the one for Easter, and we're trying to incorporate one for the day before 4th of July. Because with Mr. Pereira and I talked to Clarissa with TAC on Friday, she did advise us that we're on the lower end in terms, I think there's only 6 employees that are involved from the close to 200 that he's saying. There's only 6 involved in the health and benefits program that we have. So if we try to get more, at least 50% of our employees, at the end of the year, Dimmit County will get a reimbursement on our insurance, which obviously would reduce cost for Dimmit County.
Is that the training that Commissioner Rubalcaba and Mr. Pereira go to the seminar?
That's part of it, but that's for the elected officials. What I'm talking about is the training that the actual employees have to attend. Because right now, there's only 6 employees, and I think half of those 6 come from the auditor's office, 1 from the treasurer's, if I'm not mistaken, Commissioner Rubalcaba, myself, and Mr. Pereira that are part of that program. So every person that you have attending these trainings, or every person that you have in this program, goes to us getting reimbursement as a county to offset how much we pay at the end of the year.
So we're trying to get basically a reward to people, prizes to whoever participates and whoever wins on the challenges or anything, so that should help our health insurance for the following year.
Yes,
so we get a reimbursement on what we've got, and so it lowers the cost.
Correct, and that was one question that Mr. Pereira asked Clarissa when we met with her on Friday, is if this next fiscal year, 2023, 2024, we have more involvement, more people participating, would that reduce our rates for the next fiscal year? And she advises that it would. So right now we don't have enough people participating. So that's why I'm trying to incorporate more mandatory trainings so that we get those numbers together and we send them back to TAC to help us with getting a higher reimbursement at the end of the year. Because like I said, there's only 6 people participating. And Clarissa did mention to Mr. Pereira and I that perhaps with these meetings that we have, TAC would be able to send us like gift cards and whatnot, so that we could give that to employees as an incentive to participate in these programs. So.
Mr. Pereira, does that include the people that work out after work?
Some of them are not on that on the list. You have to sign up on this.
So that's what I'm saying. If they're going to use the gym, let them sign up.
Well, and that's what this whole training is about. It's because informative to all the employees that are in there, so they can join the challenges that the insurance does have.
I'm asking because I see a lot of
I think
people
we
out
can
there.
send it as a report at the end of the month for them to sign in.
Yeah.
That would be good, Commissioner. So, just for the record, I anticipate, and I'll get with you, Commissioner, for decorations. I'll anticipate July the 3rd that Patel's going to be coming for a mandatory health training for all the employees at the rodeo arena. That'll be July the 3rd.
Did we ever see that memo in this ordinance for elected officials?
I will send out that memo, yes, Commissioner, and just to reiterate what Commissioner Juan Carmona was saying, that when it says mandatory, meaning that means everybody must go, mandatory elected officials as well. Any, yes?
Remember the state said we can't make them go.
It's mandatory, yeah.
There's no way you can make it mandatory.
But what you do is that you make it mandatory to where if they don't go and they don't work, they won't get paid. They have to work.
They have to work.
They have to work if they don't show up.
Yes, that's,
But we need to use a different wording than mandatory.
I can call the governor's, the Attorney General's commissioner.
Because that's the same issue we had last year.
We can call the Attorney General's, Mr. Pereira and ask for an Attorney General opinion. The 3.3, discussion and appropriate action, approval of travel for County Auditor Carlos Pereira to attend the B.G. Young Institute 2023 County Administrative Training, June 23rd in San Antonio.
It's the 23rd. 26th, I'm sorry. It's 26th. It's this one.
Yes. Motion by Commissioner Rubalcaba. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. We have one abstain, which is Commissioner Uranda, because he's not here, or absent. 3.34, discussion and appropriate action, approval for reimbursement for Chief Deputy Lizette Perez for several VG Young Institute online courses for professional county collector certification. I entertain motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Rubalcaba. You had a question, Commissioner?
No, I saw what I was looking for.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? One absent, Commissioner Uranda. 3.35, discussion and appropriate action, accommodation approval for Mary Sandoval, Tax Assessor Collector, and Lizette M. Perez, Chief Deputy, to attend the TAC VG Young Institute County Administrative Training in San Antonio, June 26, 2023. Motion by Commissioner Rubalcaba. Yes. Second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries.
Does this cover your hotel, Ms. Mary?
That is for the hotel. We had already approved the correct.
Okay.
This was just for the hotel. Thank you, Ms. Mary.
Thank you.
Law enforcement, 4.1, discussion and appropriate action, jail status and sheriff's report. We'll take the jail status first. Do you have a report for that, Ms. Montes?
Judge, I'm giving you the, last time I take a look at the contract for the doctor, I was giving them the wrong contract, so I'm giving you the correct one. It was on the training.
You're gonna have to put it back on the agenda. And also, Ms. Montes, just for future reference, if you can get the report to Ms. Hernandez beforehand, so that she can put it in the binders for the commissioners, so that they can have, because sometimes some of the commissioners like to get the binders beforehand, so they can get the information.
Also, Judge, I would like to let you know that due to the increase of state population housing, we're decreasing the U.S. Marshals, and it will be submitted today. But count for the marshal right now is 29, so after the Zoom meeting, we're knowing at least 10.
10 marshals only?
Yes, ma'am. So we're gonna have only 19 marshals after today.
Judge, on that one, I did talk to Gerardo yesterday. We're gonna try to get the ones that are right now
With the felonies?
Maybe try to put those cases together so we can try to get them for the time.
And I also, I did talk to Sheriff Castañeda, Ms. Montes, last week, and I advised him that I had signed a MOU, interlocal agreement, myself, the sheriff at the time, which was Robert Mendoza, and DPS Captain Betancourt, for any cases that are here in regards to IAs that are in smuggling or anything of that nature. There's an agreement that those must be sent out to the processing center in Valverde to alleviate space from here. So if you have any questions on that, please let the sheriff or myself know, so that we won't be housing them here and it opens up space for the marshals. So like if they arrest anybody that's an IA, an illegal alien or an undocumented citizen, and they go take them to your jail, there's a MOU with DPS that the county of Dimmit has and the sheriff's office, that those individuals are not to be housed here. They're to be taken to the processing center in Valverde, and from that processing center, they become part of the state, and then the state will send them off to wherever they need to open up bed space here for us. I entertain a motion for the jail status report. Motion by Commissioner Rubalcaba, is there a second?
Second.
Second, who is it? Commissioner Odena. Discussion, yes ma'am.
Cindy, how is Montesma going in the jail?
Is, right now, we're in the policy, I called, due to the policy for the jail, I did call Bear County, and I got TDC, and also Valles, we're working on it to combine it together for the jail.
The other issues discussed prior, have you taken care of?
Yes, I did, we spoke to the captain, and we spoke to the sergeant also, about all the issues that was going on.
Judge, if I could, I don't know, if we could jump in executive session discussing the policy with one of the personnel in there. I don't know if we can do a multi.
No, we'll do it, and if it's for personnel, it'll go in executive session.
And Mr. Ortiz can stay in here. I spoke with Mr. Ortiz on one of those issues. I don't want to try to figure something out, what we got to do.
That's fine, we can go into executive session. The time is 12:19 and we're going to go into executive session.
County Judge.
Here.
Martha Lisa Gomez Ponce.
Here.
Commissioner Jose Ueda.
Here.
Commissioner Alonso Carmona.
Here.
Commissioner Valerie Rubalcaba.
Here.
Commissioner Juan Carmona.
The Pledge of Allegiance and salute to the Texas flag.
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor to the flag, with allegiance to Texas, one state under God, one indivisible.
Testimonial oath of presenters. Any presenter that's here today, just notice that you are under oath. Any information you come before this court. Is there any public comments? No. 2 point. Public comment? Yes, sir.
I'm spending too much money on the border patrol with the water leaks and everything else, or we can fix, but there's some stuff that I need to call on plumbing. So apparently I found out that some of the employees know how to do it, so I'm gonna see if I can cut down on the cost. It runs in the thousands every time they come now.
Employees, your employees?
No, the employees of
Utilities. Okay. Any other public comments?
Judge,
Yes.
we have 4 trash trucks, 2 are down. We fixed 1 and 2 more are down. The problem was they were never getting maintenance, so now they're breaking. Constituents are concerned because their trash hasn't been picked up. When we told them that it's been happening for a while, I just gave in October. I said, but we're working with whatever we have, whatever I can. I only had $20,000 to fix my equipment. But I'm gonna exceed that next week when I finish the other truck, and I still have 1 more truck that needs to get fixed. So we're doing it the best that we can, but if we can't pick it up on Monday or Tuesday, we make sure we pick it up on Wednesday or Thursday. I want to thank the city because they help us out also. If they can pick it up, they pick it up for us. So if people are calling and complaining, I mean, we're telling them that we're getting to it as best as we can.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other public comment? Yes, Mr.
Yeah,
Rodriguez.
just wanted to let the court know that we've been, doing quite a bit of work outside the road. From cleaning up, a bunch of organizing, a bunch of throwing away stuff, been there for years. So, it needed some maintenance work. Right now, we're painting the safety, curbing, and the fire hydrant, things of that nature that have just been left without really much. So,
Maintenance.
we had a situation where we pressure washed the sidewalks, and over the weekend, somebody in a four-wheeler drove around and just left tire marks all over the place. And that's just right behind the sheriff's department.
They have cameras facing that way.
To which part? To the road area? The front part of the road area, where you would enter the facility and the conference center.
I can see them working out there this past week.
I don't think there's ATVs allowed at the park, are there?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Right. So whoever it is probably doing it late at night or in the middle of the morning hours, because the guy sent me pictures where they drove all over the sidewalk and just left markings all over the place.
At the arena.
At the arena.
And I think, Commissioner, you have mentioned the Little Lake fields, we got paint on them, correct? We started cleaning it up.
dugouts and then we're gonna paint all the courts.
Any other public
So
comment?
I filled in yesterday, I did let you know about the maintainer.
Correct.
The issues that we're having, since we have 20
Maintainers.
It's costing more than, so we might trade them in.
Okay. Any other public comment? You have a public comment? No? Okay. 2.1, discussion and appropriate action to approve Southern Software Solutions Agreement and Service Contract NIBRS compliance to be paid by the forfeiture account. Good morning, Mr. Picasso.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, Commissioners.
So this item is being put for discussion in regards to the concern of the NIBRS compliance. Is that correct, Mr. Picasso?
Yes, ma'am.
My distinct understanding in the email that I received from Grants was that the sheriff's office is not NIBRS compliant with their current the intake system that they're utilizing at the moment, which is jeopardizing the county's ability to move forward with grants. Possibly, I believe Mr. Castañeda, Chris Castañeda, correct? He advised the sheriff's office, I guess at the time he was in charge of handling this, he advised the county judge's office that I guess he had gotten an email, because I guess he was still on the email list server, that we are being directed to make sure that the sheriff's office is NIBRS compliant, and they're not NIBRS compliant, again jeopardizing the 2-year grant period from here to 2 years forward. I think Christine also got information from Representative Tracy King. If you want to come forward, Christine, regarding his concern over Dimmit County not being NIBRS compliant at the sheriff's office, and how that affects with CJAC and the grants there because of the reporting numbers.
Yes, ma'am. I was able to speak to Mr. King twice already. He did come into the office the other day. He did say that For the past 2 years, we have not put any information into the NIBRS. The last time any information was sent to the state for reporting was in 2020. We have not had any information in 2021 and 2022, which, yes, that will affect our grant statuses. We are already, I don't want to say that they're gonna, trying to, hold on. It's a possibility that our grants for this year will not be funded due to the fact that we are not NIBRS compliant. Mr. King did say that he understands that the rural communities use these grants to fund not only their sheriff's office, but other things that the counties, and he's just not talking about Dimmit County, he's talking about all the rural counties, this money is in dire need, that we do count on this money. Worst case scenario would be that we do not get the funding, and we would have to petition for grants, for letters of support to maybe change the minds about the grants. But at this point, we might not be in compliance with our grants and might not get grant funding.
And currently, this software, is my distinct understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, Captain Picasso, this software solutions was purchased years ago by the Sheriff's Coalition, and has been pretty much just sitting there, not being utilized because we were with Intech. However, we are not compliant with Intech. There's been conversations with John from Intech, and there doesn't seem to be any resolution moving forward in regards to Intech. So currently, the program software has been purchased already. However, the setup and everything that entails with setting it up has not been purchased. It does come out to a total of $74,768. I did speak to Sheriff Mendoza, and I did advise him the way it's set up, that amount would have to come out from their forfeiture account. They have approximately $79,000 in their forfeiture account. So that amount would come from the forfeiture account amount. The yearly support to pay for this is $22,250. He did advise me that you guys are waiting for some other checks from the forfeiture account. Is that correct?
That's correct.
So this would be at no cost. The initial setup would be at no cost to the county. It would come from the forfeiture account.
Judge?
Yes, ma'am.
There's another software that's at the sheriff's office that they got back in 2000. The computer information system has been there. They've never used it also. So how are we gonna go with this software when there's another one also? Are we gonna table this and check both of them, or are we just gonna go with this one that's there also, like the other one is?
We're not gonna utilize Intech or that other system. Unfortunately, the reason why we had to have this special meeting is because one of the grants that we're jeopardizing, we have to be NIBRS compliant by March 31st. Southern Solution Software is telling our office, we met with Mark from Southern Solution Software, and the earliest they can get us up to par in order for the sheriffs for them to be compliant is the 30th or the 29th of March to go effect April 1st. And so that's why it needed to be approved by Commissioners Court so that they can get that information started, so that they need at least 2 weeks to get all that documentation to submit it for NIBRS compliance. I have talked to the Sheriff's Office, and we're not going to proceed forward, is that correct, with Mr. Pereira, with the other programs? So there would be no other cost moving forward with those 2 other programs, correct?
Correct. I mean, we've already, in fact, Intech, we paid for the year already.
So Intech is with one program?
That's the one program.
That's a program that's currently,
Commissioner Lopez mentioned is another program.
That's another program.
And this is another program.
correct.
So are we not being in compliance because of the program or because of failure to upload information into the system?
I think it's failure to upload the information to the system.
That's correctly right.
Nobody's doing it.
That's exactly right. So the problem that so Intech has to be NIBRS compliant. There's different software companies that are NIBRS compliant. Southern Software is NIBRS compliant. Intech doesn't fall under NIBRS, so they have to submit information to become NIBRS compliant. And there's a back and forth between the sheriff's office. Sheriff's office has submitted the information to John at Intech. Intech is saying, well, we still need more information. And so now we're at the point where it's pretty much too late to submit that information. I spoke to Chris Castaneda, as some of you guys know, used to be at the sheriff's office last week, and he advised me that the information that Intech is requesting is not information that is needed to become NIBRS compliant. So he doesn't understand what other information the sheriff's office has to give them to become NIBRS compliant. So Chris Castaneda was advising me that the information that they're requesting is not information that's required to become. So at this point, it's kind of a back and forth to become NIBRS compliant. We've already talked to them, the JPs have talked to them, and they're insisting that they need that information to be NIBRS compliant.
Are the JPs using the same program? I'm sorry.
Excuse me?
Are the JPs using the same program?
Currently, the JPs are using Intech. However, Mr. Pereira brought to my office last week, and we're looking into possibly converting from Intech to LGS because of the cost. Intech is about 3 times more expensive than this Southern Software and 3 times more expensive than LGS.
Judge, I remember talking to John from Intech, and I asked him one time that he came up here to the meetings and asked him if they were NIBRS compliant. And he said yes, but at the time, it was, I don't know if he knew what we were talking about. And I believe it was Chief Ramirez that was there also saying that they were compliant. I mean, that they were in the same program, but not a direct quote on this, but I think my question is, why did they wait so long, the sheriff department or the head departments, to let this run 2 years when they could have been done earlier? Now we're at the time where we gotta decide what route we're gonna take. But my statement is, if they knew they were that far behind back then, why did they wait till now, where we're gonna have to be pressured to do all this information, and now we're pressing for time, and are these reports gonna be done by the 30th of March? If we're 2 years behind, I don't see who's gonna be doing all that work.
So I can't speak for the sheriff's office. From my distinct understanding and speaking to the sheriff and speaking to the chief deputy, Mr. Ramirez, and speaking to the prior chief deputy or captain that was there, which is Chris Castaneda, they've all advised me that they've given all this information to Intech, and Intech pretty much has sat on it. You can correct me if I'm wrong from what they've told me. I can't speak for the sheriff's office. This is what Chris, the sheriff, and Richard have told me. They've given all that information to John at Intech, and it has not been submitted. So it's not a matter of the sheriff's office not giving, it's a matter of Intech being NIBRS compliant.
Just when I spoke to Chris a while back, while he was in the sheriff's office, he was the one that was doing the report. Then they removed him from there. I don't know for whatever reason it was. Then the NIBRS started fading, when I talked to him. And for some reason, he was moved from that department, and then no reports. Because somebody else was gonna do it, and they weren't aware of what was going on. So I'm not gonna say it was under the administration of Sheriff Mendoza or whoever, but if you have somebody doing that work, why remove him from doing it? That is my concern about.
I can't answer that question. I don't know why they removed him. I wasn't in
No, I
office.
understand, but this is what I know. And I'm not trying to make an issue out of it, but the thing is, again, it falls back that if they knew they were not compliant, why wait till now? And I'm not blaming any sheriff or anything like that, but it's like me, I gotta turn in reports, I'm sure I'm on time on that report.
And I share the same sentiments that you do, Commissioner. I share the same questions and concerns. My concern right now is that we are trying to apply for grants and we're not going to be able to apply for them or perhaps jeopardize getting those. In regards to your question that you said, will they have enough time? Again, as I mentioned, why I needed to put it on the agenda today was because Mark from Southern Software has guaranteed, if you will, that they will have all that information submitted to the Department of Justice by the 29th. They're compliant because they're a NIBRS compliant. Southern Software is already NIBRS. I think the main concern here is regardless if they give that information or not, Intech is not NIBRS compliant. So if we go with Southern Software or we go with the other one that Commissioner Rubalcaba was talking about, the actual company has to be NIBRS compliant. And Southern Software is NIBRS compliant. They've been, I guess, since the inception of when they started, but Intech is not NIBRS compliant. And the Department of Justice is telling them, in order for you to be NIBRS compliant, we need this paperwork from you. And Intech is saying, well, we don't have that paperwork because the sheriff's office is not turning it in. So it's kind of just going back and forth. And quite frankly, based on the information I have, again, from, like I said, from Chris Castañeda, the sheriff, and Ramirez, they've given that information. I don't know. It's pretty much a he said, she said, and it's just who you want to believe. But my concern right now is making sure that we're NIBRS compliant and that we get the software up and going. Like I said, it's I understand your concerns and your questions, but like I said, it will be paid from the forfeiture account, so it's not going to be any cost to the county specifically for the setup of it. Moving forward, like I said, there is a annual maintenance fee, if you will, like we have right now already with Intech and LGS. But we had a presentation, I believe it was last week, Mirta or Christine, with Mark and the JPs. John has already spoken to JP Guerrero Perez. He said he's willing to sign the document that's needed to bridge both of them so that it does not take away from the JPs, and they'll continue to be working in sync with the JPs. So it's pretty much just going to be transitioning forward the JPs with Intech. And going back to what Commissioner Miranda said, that I think moving forward, that's something that we need to look at too in regards to the Intech system with the JPs. I've already talked to Judge Guerrero Perez because when Mr. Pereira brought me how much we're paying Intech and how much LGS, it's actually triple the amount that we pay Intech.
So we were still having Intech.
We're still having Intech, but on the JP side. On the JP side.
I think we've got to look for somebody that can handle everything. One company, instead of having 4 or 5 different companies to handle everything, especially the IT and everything else. If they can work on it, we need to get that company. I'd suggest that we put it up for bids and try to figure out what we need to do. Because Intech is charging quite a bit for them not to comply with what the county requires. And if we need to get rid of them, then so be it. I'm speaking for myself because this is not the first issue we have had with Intech. So I would suggest to the board that we put it out for bids.
Any other discussion?
Judge, I would, in just listening to what we just discussed, I strongly feel that we need to do a little more, I guess, our due diligence on at least 3 different softwares, which going to be more compatible, more accessible to our sheriff department and JPs, where they can all work together as one, and not kind of like Commissioner said, one JP or 2 JPs have one software.
No, all the JPs have the same software. There's not one top JP that has one software. They all have the same software. Unfortunately, and we can continue, it's not a problem, we can continue to keep researching, but I can tell you from giving you my word, is that my office has been working in conjunction with the JP's office in trying to find a software program that is going to service everyone, and we only have one, as you said, one software. Unfortunately, we have not been able to find a software that works for everybody. LGS works for the courts and the JPs and all that, but doesn't work for the sheriffs. This Southern software works for the JPs, for the sheriff's office, and will be working with the JPs. Intech is working for the JPs, but not the sheriff. So we have not been able to find one actual software system that's all inclusive that will work for everybody, to answer your question. I'll continue to do that due diligence and look for one, but at this moment in time, there has not been one that we've been able to find that will be utilized by all the departments.
So,
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I oppose.
We have 4 in favor and 1 opposition. Commissioner Noguera.
I have a question, Judge.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Picasso, who's in charge of doing the reporting?
In the past, the reports were submitted manually. So whatever information Intake will give us, that's what we just submit. In recent, it was in 2021, I believe it was, it changed to where it's all electronically done through a website.
But in your office, who's in charge?
That would be our records clerks.
And who's the records clerks?
Ms. Norma Puente.
And she's been reporting all this since 2020.
I can speak on her behalf. I'm not too sure when she began her employment with the sheriff's office. What I can tell you is I know in the past it was Tres Castaneda was in charge of it. Like at that time, he could input it manually into the system for NIBRS. Like I said, in 2021 it changed to where it's all electronic through a website. And the information we get from Intake is not compatible with that.
So when Chris left, Norma took place.
Yes.
Judge, did the sheriff go to the meeting?
He did.
He did?
The chief also?
The chief is in training right now, so I asked that they send a representative here to this meeting. If the sheriff was not going to be here, I believe the sheriff had a doctor's appointment. He's transitioning from a walker to a cane, I think is what I was told. Thank you, Mr. Picasso. On the addendum, we have the discussion and appropriate action of Frontera contract. I'm going to request that we go into executive session with Mr. Pereira. At this time, the time is 9:30, and we will be going. Any other discussion in regards to Frontera contract? If not, I'll entertain a motion to continue as discussed in the contract. Moved by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Odena. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. 4.1 on the addendum, the claim docket. I'll entertain a motion to approve the Frontera Construction invoice number 12 in the amount of $233,371.15.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Noguera. Second by Commissioner Juan Carmona. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn at this time.
So moved.
Motion by Alonso Carmona. Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Jose Uranda. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. The time is 10:05. We ended this meeting. Thank you.
I'm not sure they presented one at the beginning of this month, usually it's been in the first of the month, I don't know, they didn't give you anything.
Sure, next Commissioner's Court, can you let us know who are your patrol deputies?
Yes.
Ceci? I know we can put a code on the tickets, on the citations they give out, but all these deputies, I have 18 deputies, 1 ticket, 2 tickets, 3 tickets.
I'll get your list.
Please and change, so that way we know.
Any other discussion? All in favor for the sheriff's report?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Discussion and appropriate action, staff report for utility, I'll entertain a motion to table.
Motion to table.
Motion by Commissioner Odena, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Juan Carmona. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Grants and planning, discussion and appropriate action, status report.
Good afternoon. I was going to say good morning. Good afternoon, Judge and Commissioners. Sorry, I'm doing something. For the past month, I've been reviewing contracts concerning our CDBG grants and the installation of the water pressure system in Brundage. I also reviewed the Houston Street Colonia Fund. The reason I did that was because I didn't know where things had left off. And so I had someone call my office and tell me that they weren't getting paid, which we've had already addressed that. Me and Mr. Pereira already addressed it, where we put in for payment and they should be on the cost sheet for today. On Thursday morning, I'll be visiting the Houston Street and seeing the progress they've made so far and photographing the area to add those photographs to the file regarding Houston Street. I've also been in conversations with Ms. Laura Simmons from the Texas Department of Housing and Community Affairs in regards to the housing and renovation grants. Some of the grants have unfortunately already closed for the year of 2023. However, she did say that she could walk me through the process of what the application is going to require, because she said they are going to change the application process for the housing renovation area. So she said she's willing to guide me through the process and whatever is needed for the upcoming year, and she will advise me on some of the HUD, which is the Housing and Urban Development Programs that we might be applicable as a county. I've also been researching grants to expand the Asherton Recreational Center and assisting my colleague, Ms. Rodriguez, Selena Rodriguez, in the grant writing process for the proposed sports complex. In that regard, since I came in a little bit late and they were already putting the project together, I'm just helping wherever areas they need, whether it's more funding because there's not enough funding in like baseball fields. I go out and look for specific grants just for baseball, or specific grants just for the running trail, or anything specifically needed that has yet to be properly allocated funds for. In the emergency management department, on the emergency management side, I have had several meetings and trainings. On May 29th through June the 2nd, I attended the TDM training conference. In that conference, I did attend a couple of train the trainer courses, in which I get certified and I can come and give those trainings out to anybody in the community or anybody in the county. I do have to still get with Judge with that, see where she's going to want to host the trainings, and I'm waiting on my certificates for those. On June 7th, I attended some public safe sector training, which trains on grants and how they would like the applications for their specific grants. On June 15th, I attended meetings in regarding to the emergency management response community and certain allocation of funds there regarding Middle Rio. On June 17th, I attended an ICS training, which was this past Saturday. They were training us on how to assist in active shooter situations. The department has also responded to the community's needs for a cooling system and is working on proper approach to the hot weather and unfortunate circumstances that have come from the hot weather. At this moment, we have been able to direct some people, which were elderly couples, to the middle Rio to fulfill their needs. I will also be attending a FEMA training pretty soon. I think I will be attending those after hours, after work, but I will be getting those done. Any questions or concerns?
I'll entertain a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Odena, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Alvarado, any discussion?
Yes, when you mentioned Houston Street, who wasn't getting paid?
It wasn't for the Houston Street. I believe that was the issue because it was misunderstood. And so we had understood that Houston Street wasn't getting paid, but it was for the Brundage water pressure system. The person had completed more than 50% of the system, and they had yet to receive the first payment. As of today, it's going on the call docket, and as soon as you guys approve it, we'll be giving them their payment.
There was a PO that was approved, but there was an issue over with Mr. Pereira's office as to they hadn't gone through their payment. Mr. Pereira's office said on for it, they were trying to get it, so it was on his staff.
There was one also on County Road 101. We had already made the purchase order all back to the
Yeah, so once I approve it, sometimes they stay in Mr. Pereira's office for a bit, I guess he investigates or whatever he has to do. And so with that one that hadn't gotten paid, we ended up finding out that my office, we had approved the PO, but we have been sitting in Mr. Pereira's office for some time, waiting on what he needed to do so that he could.
On the Houston project, Houston Street.
Yes, we were told about.
Yeah, they're not gonna tear up the sidewalks where it's been paved, so that's gonna save time and money. So what they're gonna do is go toward where the block ends and then steep where it's paved already instead of tearing it up. So they're gonna go forward up and to the next block. So they're doing at least 2 blocks at a time.
Right.
Any other discussion?
And I am keeping in contact with the contractors.
I had a question in regards to that process because we had a PO submitted for a porta pool plant. A porta pool plant that's been approved for Commission's Court. And commodities have been using one of my porta pool plants, so we needed one for them. And it says you had approved it, we did the PO, but it was at Pereira's office waiting for approval from them.
I was getting one of those fans from Uralco, pero it's gonna throw like 8 air, hot air anyways.
No, this one is.
No, I know, but the one I was looking at was a good fan, but it was just gonna throw the hot air. Because I want one equal that refresca.
No. No, comprende. No speak Spanish.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Ortiz. Discussion and appropriate action, monthly report from County Treasurer, Mr. Oscar Ortiz for the month of May 2023.
Everything's pretty much the same as my last part of my report since last month. First page is all the bank accounts. There is 2 in the red, but that was just because of the usual, the check gets made at the end of the month before I could deposit money. I don't know if anyone noticed, but last month I had moved the money from COs 2022 that was in the bank here to our investment pool, so it could be gaining a lot better interest. Other than that, that's pretty much the only changes And I also included the sales tax for the past 3 months on the second page in the bottom right. It did increase by about $30,000 from the previous month.
I'll entertain a motion.
Motion. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Urenda, second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Any discussion?
Mr. Ortiz, and CPIF, that money still like the COs or the tech dot? Who's got that money, the judge?
I'm not too sure. Who's in charge of the CTIF?
DOT
The CTIF?
grant.
The CTIF.
The CTIF.
CTIP program. What money?
He wants to know who has the money. I don't have it, I only have $800,000.
I got $2,000. $2 million.
I wish I had that, but I don't. Not on mine.
Oh, it's probably needs to be transferred back to the grant, to the COs. Yeah, I'll check on that.
It's not under the judge's office, no.
Yeah, no, that's the grant, and basically handles all that. CTIP.
This is what's left over, in other words.
No.
So why?
It's because we're not finished with it. So basically, we used to pay the bills because we get reimbursed for it.
Oh, okay.
So it's probably been reimbursed and it's sitting there. Yes.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries. 7.2, discussion and appropriate action, financial report from County Auditor Mr. Carlos Pereira for the month of May 2023.
If you look at your page 1 is the revenues, and through May 31st, we collected $18,154,000. The sales tax through May 31st, we collected $2 million. If you look at the following column, which is the last year in May, we collected $1,200,000. So we're above that. Interest earned, we're also way over that amount. The interest rates are up right now. However, we're basically projecting that in the next couple of months, the interest rate will be dropping on savings account and basically anything in the bank. As JP has stated, they are collecting more monies than they were last year. The only place where we are seeing a drop is in the detention board, which is the prisoners, the marshal's prisoners, or any prisoners in the jail. So overall, we're $3 million more through May 31st this year than we were last year. And in expenditures through May 31st, we're $10,168,000. Last year at this time, we were $9,300,000. So we're revenues over expenditures in the general fund.
Good thing. Entertain a motion? Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Juan Carmona. Discussion?
Judge, just for
Yes.
information, I asked Mr. Pereira and Mr. Ortiz on how we were doing with the interest. If we we're gonna borrow that money, but I wanted to make sure that we were just about even with the payment. So apparently we did.
Yes, we had another discussion, Mr. Pereira and I, last Friday, and we're actually, like he said, we're $3 million projected over in revenue. So we're actually doing really good in terms of the revenues and how much we're getting, and we're expecting for that to stay that or increase even more. So we're working on other things, and we've been reached. People have reached out from the community in terms of going back to what you're saying, the complex, and so it might even be less than what we're asking, so that'll be a good thing, actually.
But the reason, I know it's not my project, but I wanted to make sure that we were.
No, it's all our, I mean,
Comparing apples, examples.
yes,
We're all right.
yes, sir.
Yes,
If they
because
tell you, no, okay,
Oh, I know what you're talking about now. Yes, sir. I'll call you. You're gonna be my consultant, Mr. Carmona.
because just in what we've deposited in class, I believe in last November, we had collected close to a little under $100,000, which was close to what we had earned the previous year in interest. So
Yes.
that's how.
Right, that's why I asked the gentleman about it. I'm just nosy.
All in favor? Any objection? Motion carries. 7.3, discussion appropriate action, budget adjustment within the county judge department. Motion by Commissioner Juan Carmona, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Urenda, any discussion? All in favor? Any objection? Motion carries. 7.4, discussion appropriate action, budget adjustment within the Treasurer's Department. Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Noguera. Any discussion? All in favor? Any objection? Motion carries. Discussion appropriate action, budget adjustment within Precinct 1 Department. Motion by Commissioner Noguera, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Discussion and appropriate action, budget adjustment within the golf course
So moved.
department.
Sorry. So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Urenda. Discussion?
Judge,
Yes, sir.
Can I just have one change to that, Roman on 26, instead of cents? Doesn't make sense.
So you're asking for 1,096? Any other discussion?
I got a question, not because it's Commissioner Urenda, but when I talked to Mr. Pereira and Mr. Ortiz, I asked them, what are we gonna take into consideration when we make the budget? And my concern is, Mr. Ortiz and Mr. Pereira and I, we got to bring up before Commissioners Court, if they are over 40 hours, they have to pay them overtime, correct? And then, if they put that on their salary, then there's gonna be a big amount of an increase. So are they gonna take that up what it is right now, or how are we gonna correct that problem?
Well, you don't, right now you have up to 40 hours of top time.
I'm talking about the budget itself.
I understand that you're not supposed to be making more than.
But if they pay them, the budget is gonna be increased.
That will be the department head.
Which is Mr. Urenda.
I understand that, but my point is, which one is it gonna take? Is it gonna take the original one, or is it gonna take where the improved one was made? You know what I'm saying? I mean, for example, I got $10,000 for one employee. Okay, so he went over the comp time, 40 hours. So now, instead of 10,000, it's 40,000, right? And when we go to the budget, we usually see what they pay.
The way it works is, correct me if I'm wrong, all the salaries of the people, they're included in the permanent full-time budget. So that's the main thing we need to watch to make sure that
That's why I'm saying it's gonna go in there and it's gonna raise it up.
if they continue working, if they didn't plan for the overtime, then yes, you'll go over.
Right.
That's why you would have to send them home to make sure you don't go over the budget. But if you asked, if you had more money than paying somebody regular, then you might not go over, correct?
Yeah, because you have money left over.
So essentially, when you do your budget, Commissioner Odena, you need to take into account if there's gonna be overtime.
I understand what everybody's talking about, and none of these employees have put in overtime.
No, I'm not saying about overtime, I'm talking about the original amount.
Right.
Let's say I got $1.5 million in salary, but then it's gonna be $1,700,000,
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but.
right?
So that's what he's saying, basically, no overtime. If you don't have any overtime, it shouldn't be an issue.
Are we gonna go by the amount that it's on there, right now?
Yes, because that's.
So
it's-
then it's taking an increase automatically.
No, you're gonna go
Yeah.
you're gonna go by the salary that's in your budget. So if you look at the back of the budget, it's stated in there what it is. Those are the percentages that are gonna go. Whatever you're gonna increase, it's gonna be based on those amounts. Whatever's in the back of the budget, which is each individual position identified individually.
I know by the hour, I know what you're talking about, but when you put the total amount, it's a total amount, and they don't break it down by employees, when we have the budget for full-time salaries.
Well, okay, but if you have 5 people and you have overtime on somebody, that's what the other position is gonna
I'm
absorb it.
talking, when you say the overtime, it's like if they work it, I'm saying about the comp time, because now we gotta have it below 40 according to the DOT, and you, right?
But if
So,
you keep it below that.
if they're at 60, you have to pay 20 hours regardless, you have to pay them.
If they're over the 40.
If they're
Right.
over the
If they're
40,
over the 40.
so you
yes.
don't keep, that's why you don't keep it
And
over
if-
30,
And
I
if you
suppose.
know you don't have the money to cover the overtime, it's in your best interest to send that person home the next week
Well, that's
to
what I'm
make sure you
saying.
don't go.
But if you have
over.
money somewhere else, I'm gonna pull it out there and put it over here, so I can keep it.
But that would be something Commissioner Court would have to do because any changes to
Payroll has to go.
payroll has to go to Commissioner Court.
And I'll be honest, that's why I did mine, is because the previous treasurer requested 50 hours for each to get paid out because they were so over. So that's why I needed
Not
money
right,
for the
but I
part-time.
know that's where you correct yours, but that's what I'm saying, that's what we're gonna take. The full amount that they spent, or we're gonna go back to.
You're going to go whatever's identified in the budget. Currently.
That's still what I'm supposed to say? I get it lost sometimes, so it's better, I remember.
Any other discussion for the budget adjustment for the golf course? All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries. Claim docket. $698,037.08 for the general fund. Dimmit County Clerk, $3,487.62. Dimmit County District Clerk, $5,789.55. Dimmit County Airport, $3,272.16. Dimmit County Golf Course, $14,739. Courthouse Security, $1,569.87. Records Management County Clerk, $116.37. Utilities, $50,332.60. Rodeo Arena is $130. Stone Garden, $26,899.43. Dimmit County Payroll, $267,244.47. CDBG Colonia Fund, $181,350. COs 2021, $2,400. COs 2022, $6,580.52 for a grand total of $1,261,868.06.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Carmona,
Second.
second by Commissioner Valerie Rubalcaba. Discussion. Mr. Pereira, just on these claim dockets, if you can have your staff submit them to our office, if not the day of Commissioners Court, because me, I don't know about the other commissioners, but speaking for myself, I like to look at what we're paying out in advance. So sometimes we don't get them, sometimes we'll get them in the morning or the day of commission. So if you can get them to us beforehand.
Oh, we emailed it to everybody last.
I know, but not, we don't always get them, and sometimes we'll get a change the day of. So
If we get a change, I'll bring it to you, but mostly it's been whatever we submitted to you.
we're just
Okay, but
a
so you
reminder.
want the written one?
I want to look at what we're paying out,
Okay.
this claim docket
Will
beforehand.
email you, like, this one was mailed out last Tuesday, Thursday? Last Thursday, or Friday.
I just need it
This
within
one, Thursday.
time so that I can review it.
Okay.
Thank you. All in favor? Any objection? Motion carries. I will entertain a motion to recess and adjourn. Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Noguera. All in favor? Any objection? Motion carries. The time is 1:58, and I will call the meeting to order for the public facilities. Roll call, everyone is here that was here for the first agenda. Approval of minutes, regular meeting June 5th, 2023. Motion by Commissioner Juan Carmona, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Noguera. Any discussion? All in favor? Any objection? Motion carries. 2.1, discussion appropriate action, any new business?
Judge, for the court's information, I got into it with the people from Del Rio. They say we're not doing anything. And
The
currently, we
people-
are.
The people from Del Rio?
Yeah, they have
The
a
sector?
company-
You're talking about sector?
Yeah, they got a company that's supposed to overlook all the maintenance and all of that. And so we got the wrong information, we were working. They still had a water leak, that's a person who wasn't accountable. Our secretary sees the information, so we don't share it with them, that's not my problem. I told them that if they had any problems to call me directly, so you are aware of it. I'm not trying to pick a fight, but I like to defend us. I like to defend Dimmit County.
Any other new business, Commissioner?
And the lights, now, the ones on the wall will now, so I'll be getting somebody to work on them. And also, I'll get the information from Commissioner Carmona. Someone that tried a new company. The other one charges an arm and a leg for coming down here.
I entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Noguera. Any discussion? All in favor? Any objection? Motion carries. Discussion and appropriate action monthly report. I'll entertain a motion. Motion by Commissioner Juan Carmona, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Noguera. Any discussion? All in favor?
No, exactly.
No, it says annual pay is for one person.
One person, 37,000.
No, that's not a month, Commissioner, that's annual.
Annual.
How much? 37,440 annual.
It's about 17.
The public facility is different from the budget for the courthouse. We've done that with every company.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any objection? Motion carries. Claim docket, we have public safety, $1,884.33.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Alonso Carmona, is there a second? Second by Commissioner Noguera. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. I'll entertain a motion to recess and adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Noguera, second by Commissioner Alonso Carmona. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, everybody. Yes.